In the heart of what's formerly NASCAR country, we're here at Austin, Texas at the Circuit of the Americas for round 18 of the F4 Division of the Excite Racing League. A circuit which has gained high praise from amalgamating the best of tracks like Silverstone, Suzuka, Hockenheim and Istanbul Park. All over you got long straights, tight hairpins, flowing corners and plenty of overtaking opportunities. And of course tonight all coverage brought to you by GC Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk, exclusively live on Channel 2 of Twitch.tv. I'm Pete Marcroft, and tonight, well, I've got Adam Roberts kind of flying with me, but I've got a new commentator here for the first ever time, Luke Stoney. Good evening to the pair of you.
Good evening, Pete. Hello, Pete.
So let's get out to the circuit and we'll try and bring you coverage of qualifying here. We're going to the next 13 minutes for the race. Flame Dragon's currently on an outlap, trying to get to the head of the snake to see who's out in front. And of course, for all you people out there who want to get questions in tonight, you can do it either to myself, Gamer Tech Swishbone, he's to XRL Bobbert, or to Jay Pierce as well. Well, either way, we'll do our best to get through your comments and get through them as well. You can also use the chat box as normal here on Channel 2. And of course, if you want to get any messages out, you can also check out the multi-Twitch, as GP3 should be live on the other channel as well, providing our good friend F1 Speed got the message. RC Rapids, meanwhile, first to start the lap going through turn 1. Oh, went very wide on the outside though on the prime tyres, really over the white lines to the AstroTurf. Compromises grip a bit. We'll get into the fast flowing section similar to the S's at Suzuka and Maggotts and Beckett. Oh, bad mistake there. Gets too wide at turn 7 and that throws him up towards the edge, really lacking the grip there.
Definitely not a lot of grip coming from him there. Too much understeer. I think he took too much speed into the corner, actually. That's what did it for him. And, well, that's cost his first run anyway, so I think the best idea is to find somebody else. I mean, I've got on board with Ryan, who won last week, quite convincingly as well. And, well, he'll be hoping for a repeat tonight because he's closed that gap to Escassin at the top, and it meant he put himself 1 point ahead of Jordan for that second automatic promotion spot.
For all you people out there, by the way, just to be aware, Adam Roberts is only here for qualifying. After that, it's going to be me and Luke. So, Luke, let's hear from you. Being awfully quiet on the other side of the commentary box there.
I've just got on board with John Dickweed, who's just gone into turn 1. He's on the prime tyres. He's taking that quite well. There's a bit of curves down the start finish straight.
Cool. Meanwhile, on the meantime, sorry to cut a question there, Flame Dragon got it really badly wrong at turn 13 there. Went right on the outside, went far too deep. Downhill braking zone into the hairpin. And we've seen a lot of drivers, both in the F1 divisions and the GP2 divisions, really getting that wrong. I mean, Luke, ask you as one of the drivers from the F5000, is that corner that's causing you problems when you've been trying to get into the braking there?
It's been a bit of a struggle, yeah. Turn 13 in really difficult. Entering, I don't know what's just, I've been understeering quite a bit there, even with myself, which is quite oversteering.
Well, John Digweed, meanwhile, just took out quite beautifully there. Missed the apex on the inside, but rode the outside karting line to get the outside grip. I mean, Adam, we'll come back to you. Obviously, F1 division driver, not the best of races, it must be said, this week at Austin, Texas for you. But your perspective on the corner, end of the DRS zone, you're probably the highest speed on the entire circuit, and then you've got this downhill, really tricky hairpin. Is this corner that invites you off on the outside AstroTurf?
Definitely, yeah. It's a corner that seems to be it's a bit off camber actually as well, so it can catch drivers out quite easily, and especially as well because on the exits of it just seems to tighten all of a sudden, so it catches drivers out when they're trying to make the turn, and it can be a corner where you can gain a lot of time if you get it spot on and perfectly. But as I said, downhill braking, you're coming from over 200 miles an hour with the DRS. It is a difficult one to stop into it, but in my personal opinion, I think the most difficult corner on this track is turn 1. Uphill braking, you can easily lock up and find yourself going too far wide and compromising your lap.
Well, Jordan, meanwhile, is second place on the 36.7 as Ryan on the prime tyres. The slower compound does a 36.5, 2/10 clear. XRL Michaels, meanwhile, he's done a decent effort in the McLaren in P3 on a 36.8. And then a 37.3 from Connor Kay. Been absent for quite some time, Connor, due to work commitments, but he's back in the league for tonight and doing a decent job. Flame Dragon a 38.1, really off the pace. And Pied Piper has managed to get stuck in the gravel, coming at the end of of, I think that's turn 1, right at the end of the start of the lap. He's got that completely wrong there. Don't know how it's gone straight on. No, it's not turn 1, it's turn 12, going into the DRS zone. It's like he straight-lined that. Embarrassing mistake from Pied Piper, it has to be said.
Certainly was, yeah. I mean, I was on board with him literally a couple of seconds ago and then went off him, so... Yes, a rookie mistake there from Pied Piper, but you know he was on an in lap as it was anyway, so it didn't really matter. And he's done a 1:53.5, so you'd expect him to improve. Everyone who's out on track at the moment doesn't seem to be on a lap.
As Caston's going to be on a lap in a minute, sector 3 at the moment, so Caston is on options for this run.
Piscarson really needs to get some performance out this week after that scintillating and disappointing performance at Abu Dhabi when he started mid-pack, got caught in the early thracker and really lost out, and we saw what pace Ryan had to totally decimate the field there. Now, Piscarson coming up to turn 20 at the end of the circuit to start his lap, this is the outside apex there, going to cost him a bit of speed as he goes over the DRS activation zone. He's already played a little bit of his curves there to get the maximum push up the hill, kind of like a reverse version of Paddock Hill Bend at Brands Hatch. Gets braking about 80 metres, nice and light, clips the inside apex beautifully there. Decent line so far for Piscarson on this lap.
Definitely, yes. I mean, what Piscarson needs to do today, he just needs to get a decent result because he has a 34-point lead to Ryan in second. So long as he doesn't get outscored by Ryan by more than 9 points and 10 to his teammate Jordan, he will become the F4 champion tonight. But also, we'll have to see how it goes. He just comes to the end of the second one. He gets a little bit out of shape there, and he's coming towards turn 12 now. Again, it's another difficult breaking point. You can easily lock up and find yourself going wide as the Pied Piper did.
Look at this, no love lost between these two teammates, of course, after what happened in India. And who's he got right ahead of him now, going towards turn 13? His teammate Jordan. So Piscarson's got to make sure he doesn't get compromised by his teammate into like the faux Hockenheim Istanbul Park section. I mean, Luke, we'll go back to you. Dirty air. One of the things that's been a bit of a talking point on the forum all week here is track limits caused by the dirty air. Does that affect you as much at a circuit like Austin, Texas?
Are you actually?
Really
Sorry, go on.
I did say Luke, so go on.
Car really gets unsettled, especially through sector 3. Especially the high-speed section. Turn 19 is very difficult when it's that close to the car ahead, so it can easily go wide and compromise you if you decide to lift off.
Well, 36.9 for Piscarson in the Mercedes, good enough for P4 at the moment. On the stream, meanwhile, XRL Stewart says hello, Swishy Goo, for some reason, and then says hello to Mr. Brilliant as well. I assume he's talking about you, Adam Roberts.
Very funny.
A bit of XRL romance in the area, we'll see. Well, speaking of your partner, she has a sick question on 37.5. Hey, you're going to be taking a back seat for the race. I'm going to rip you as much as I like. You taking the week off? Don't expect it to be easy.
It doesn't mean that I won't keep my mic off when you say something like that.
Well, here we go. He's going to defend his honour, viewers. Out comes the R and the Source next. I'm not sure if this is actually on a lap at the moment. Just coming into the DRS zone now. Going over the line at about the 51, 52 seconds kind of marker. I'm right up and now, but I'm not sure if this is an in-lap or not. Into the braking zone at turn 13. Oh, goes off more tires over on the inside there. Marginal. Well, corner where it's quite easy to do that with the downhill nature and the fact that it's kind of half blind. Is that something you find yourself difficult to control? I mean, Adam, obviously, you had experience on heavy fuel tanks earlier on this week in the F1 division, and this road really gets out of shape. Turn 17 hits the bollard. Not a thing you want to be doing in this league, has to be said.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, with quite a few of these cars, in particular, turns 1, 12, and 13.
Extension at 19 there. And Miss Brilliant realises she's taking advantage, goes into the pits. Meanwhile, XRL Stewart asked why Channel 2 tonight. The reason is that I tried to authenticate Channel 1 for some reason. As Flame Drive goes pole, the 36.4 pulls it out on the option tyres to get himself back up. Ryan now is coming on an outlander on the prime tyres, so we should see if he gets more pace. But going back to your question in there, Stuart, the reason we're on Channel 2 is that when I tried to authenticate the channel on my software, for whatever reason, it would not connect to the system. Luckily, I had Channel 2 pre-authenticated from the F1 division. Now, I'm hoping that means that GP3 will be brought to you. As Ryan suddenly stopped on circuit, coming up to turn 16. Oh, is this a ghosting car? Are we going to lose a car with this connection here? Goes through the bollard section, starts middle speed. Hopefully that was just something like his batteries getting disconnected his controller, because the last one was a driver dropping out now. So he's right on board with Ryan, last week's winner at Abu Dhabi at Yas Marina. Getting into turn 20, gets on the inside. Ooh, a bit too close to the inside curve there. Almost throws the car wide, but DRS deployed along with Miller's. And oh, there goes the tower commentator's curse. John Digweed drops out. Adam, if you'll do. Oh, and the Pied Piper. We've lost 2 drivers. What's going on here? We're going to have to get these guys back in very quickly. They've got literally 180 seconds, and if they don't make it in, they will not make the grid. These guys need to get back in now.
Yeah, I know.
So meanwhile, Ryan goes for turns 7 and 8 in towards the end, the sweeping chicanes where you get the more tighter corners at 90 degrees, which kind of caps you out. After a high speed change of direction, suddenly you're back into the medium speed corner. It's quite frustrating for the drivers. Going through turn 11 into the very wide entry at 12. We saw a few drivers making a few moves in the F1 division here. Oh, Ryan getting close to the wire lines there. Got to make sure you don't do that too often. Meanwhile, going through down the straight, Jack Packer's on the screen meanwhile, saying that the game is really unrealistic, pure arcade racer. Can't disagree with that. It's really not been the best of simulations here. And yes, if people drive with controllers, it's a bit of a mix actually. Some people use controllers, I know I would because I've not got a steering wheel, but there are a few guys in the F1 and GP2 I know that do use some quite fancy ones. Giant Ryan going from turn 14 to 15 and 16 looks pretty consistent so far, but I'm not sure if he's going to get any time here, Luke. What do you think?
Well, I wasn't personally on board with him, but I was personally on board with Sonic K, who's just done a couple of track extensions and dived in the pit, but it seems to be a reasonably competitive lap before that in the Lotus. Low old tyres on, but now I'm holding this brilliant seat. Oh, a bit of a corner cut there, but it's the outlap, so
Ryan does not improve. He stays on the 36.5 on the prime tyres. Second place, meanwhile, Jordan in the Mercedes, also on the primes on a 36.7. Good pace here. There's only a couple of tenths off Pied Piper, who set his provisional pole lap on the option tyres. So really got a lot of pace in these guys, Austin, Texas. And we saw this in the F1 division where the field was covered by less than a second. Those who qualified. And a 36.7 again, Jordan only improves by a couple of hundredths of a second. XRL Michaels in the McLaren, meanwhile, going for turn 14. Oh, a bit of guts out with oversteer there, kicking the curb. Into 15, 16 and 17. Taking the wide, fanciful line into the quadruple apex turn 18. Kind of like the turn 8 of Istanbul mirror image here. But he's getting a bit out of shape, missing the outside apex there. Not carrying maximum speed through the corner. Oh, the corner caught 19 for good measure. As we head into turn 20 at the end of the qualifying session. Gets close to the white lines, he's as legal as he dares. How much closer to time is this going to be? No improvement. Meanwhile, Andy Cobb is saying that apparently the GP3 stream has not yet started. So, we may be the only action you get to watch here tonight, viewers, but either way, thanks for joining us here live and exclusive on Twitch.tv.
Yeah, I've been receiving messages from drivers in GP3 wondering where a certain righteous tag is. So I'm having to deal with that and do this at the same time. So yes, a guy multitasking, get over it.
Oh, well, gives you plenty of experience. Now, in the meantime, Wisconsin going for the smart line. DRS flat wide open, occurs to play. He's on the option tyres. This is a do or die lap for Wisconsin. Down in 5th place. He really needs to get into the top 3, really, if he's going to have any chance of not losing the title down to the race at Interlagos, with Ryan on the position he is at the moment, and also on the prime tyres, no less. So definitely got the advantage over overall pace. Going through turns 5, 6 and 7. Ooh, it's a bit close to the inside curve there, almost settles the car, but a decent run as we enter into the slower 90-degree corners, brushing the outside with the tyres into turn 10, gets through the curve as beautifully as he can, into the kink at 11, not really a corner, before it's wide turn 12 where you've got encouraging different lines, potential to get the overtake before DRS here, as we get into the slipstream that would normally be used to get the overtake into turn 13.
Things for sure so far from Wisconsin. It's a very clean lap, but it's whether or not if it's quick enough for him to improve. I mean, he is in that P5 at the moment, and he's only about half a second off provisional pole, so let's see if he can keep it up as he goes into turn 13, takes that very sweetly and perfectly, avoids the curb, and then come into the twisty, difficult section, I think. Again, takes that really, really well. Car's very balanced, not unsettled at all, and it's coming through the quadruple turn 18, which I think is the best corner of the track. It reminds me of the Istanbul Park, actually, where they had the quadruple left-hander.
It's also got shades of Catalunya as well. Turn 4 there, where you've got the long sweeping right-hander before the tight hairpins in the middle sector. It's a turn 20 as Scarson brushes the inside curve here. I'm not sure if this is going to be an improvement, actually. Oh, he gets a 10th, goes to P4, but Connor K's all that in the Lotus. I think there's a little bit of lag there. Entering turn 13.
Watching the whole way around, is the last one to cross the line. Just ahead of him was Irish Stu on a bit of a corner cut, so he automatically got locked out. Oh, mistake.
Nope,
lag.
Definitely one of the things that makes things difficult. On the stream, meanwhile, K Robin Gaming asking, will I be doing the F1 2014 streams? The answer is no, I will be retiring as of next week. But XRL will still be doing streams here for the whole divisions, and the likes of Adam, Luke, and others will be taking over the microphone. So I've only got 3 races to go.
Oh, it was a good lap.
There was a massive traffic thing going into turn 19.
I think he had a corner cut because his time didn't improve, so I think he just crossed the line for the sake of it. But only 8 people setting lap times, and so Clifford does a 1:47 and he's P8.
The question is, I mean, we saw this in the F1 real-life races in 2013 at Shanghai, China, when Jenson Button got 9th on, I think it was 9th on the grid in a 2-minute lap time in order to save the tyres. I mean, is tyre wear one of the... Oh, Jordan's lost connection! One of the Mercedes drivers is not going to make the grid! And Scarson will be delighted about that, because that's one of the Type 1 rivals out of the running. So it's now going to be a 2-horse race. So the question is whether it's going to be wrapped up here at Austin, Texas, or if we're going to have a showdown at Interlagos, Brazil next week. Meanwhile, Conor is asking, is GP3 not being streamed? The answer is we don't know. I did ask Dan XRL Bernie to ensure the streamer knew they were on channel 1, but as I said before, when I tried to authenticate that account using the software, for whatever reason, Twitch was not letting us connect. Fortunately, I already had this channel pre-authenticated, so you do have some action either way. So, meantime then, going on to the performance from the qualifying, if you was to pick a winner at the moment, Luke, who would you go with?
Well, from beforehand, I would have gone with Jordan personally. I mean, I've practiced him quite a bit recently. He's shown quite a bit of pace in the race. But right now, I'm going to go with, let's see, go with XRL Michaels.
Well, that's a bit of an outside shout there. XRL Michaels, a very outside shout. I think personally the strongest suited one here is Ryan, because of the fact that only did his second place, but he did that on the prime tyres. Now don't get me wrong, XRL Michaels also did that in the McLaren, so definitely a potential shout there. But Ryan showed last week at Abu Dhabi just how much pace he has on these more modern circuits where you've got the extra runoffs. But while Abu Dhabi encourages drivers to attack, here in Austin, Texas, you've got more difficult runoff and a lot more attacking places for overtaking, so it's going to be a little trickier. But with Ryan being in second place, I'll fancy him to make a dive up the inside at turn 1 and lead from the front. On the stream, meanwhile, quite a few comments going on. Apparently in GP3 they're missing a second steward there. That's a real problem, but I can't comment on that because obviously I'm here in F4. And meantime, also XRL Stewart is saying look to the F5 drivers in order to get drivers turning up. Well, after all, in F1 we did have a couple of guys from GP2 and also third place to one of the GP3 drivers. Definitely showing this kind of circuit is one that rewards the driver's pace no matter what division you're in.
Definitely, yes. I mean, well, it's a shame about GP3 at the moment, but nevertheless, the action doesn't stay away from here. And well, it's actually going from it's option prime people who's qualified here. So this will be interesting.
Well, in the meantime, the best way for us to bring coverage here will be to get out onto the circuit. We're doing 100% distance here this week in the F4 division. A total of 56 laps, so a lot of action. Meanwhile, on the stream, I'm being asked who the third steward is. It's actually Adam. He's third steward in because Luke is debuting for commentary for the first time this evening. Please keep your comments coming in. Jamie's saying that apparently in GP3 you've not even got started at the race yet, which is a real problem. But I can't say any more on that because we're about to go out of the paddock onto the circuit here with coverage brought to you by GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk. Keep your messages coming in on the chat box or through Xbox Live, Gamertag, Swishbone, JP79 or XRL Bobbers. Keroma Gaming asking who's in first place. That's actually Escarcin, and he can win the title here depending on the results of Ryan. And Ryan, of course, starts in second place. Escarcin starts down in P4. So let's see what happens here as we get at the back of the grid to bring you coverage of this race. 12 drivers will be duking it out here at Austin, Texas at the Circuit of the Americas. We're looking at 56 laps, so once those lights go out, we will be racing. And it's lights out, and away they go. We got the uphill road down towards turn 1. We've got the reverse Panico where Flame Dragon gets a decent start on the option tyres. Behind him, meanwhile, Ryan's looking on the inside already into turn 1. Dies on the inside, bit wide from Flame Dragon. Gets on the option tyres using the extra grip. Meanwhile, big cartwheel on the back there. Not sure those as Escarcin goes by Ryan at turn 2. A critical move for the title race here. Flame Dragon leads in the meantime. Ryan's all over the back of him as Escarcin goes wide at turn 7 and 8. That was with the threat from the Ferrari driver into 9 and 10. Well, Ryan's just about behind Escarcin, really getting a decent run here. Escarcin's got the jump for now. Well, Ryan's shown his pace at Abu Dhabi, being able to race with these guys behind him. XRL Michaels nailed to the diffuser of that Ferrari. It's a three-way scrap for second. Ryan takes a look on the inside as Flame Drive inside is going for the strategy. Escarcin goes wide, and Ryan goes back through. So XRL Michaels deploys his curves as Escarcin gets into the slipstream down the DRS straight towards turn 13 with XRL Michaels. Right fancy splitting the paradigm by splitting the atom here. Heading into turn 13, XRL Michaels looking on the middle of the paradigm. What a fantastic piece of driving. Got a little wide there. Has he got the positions? Yes, he has. Beautiful overtake.
Fantastic from XRL Michaels. First lap in, and that's a potential over the take of the week already, as now Miss Brilliant is on the inside of Ryan, and Ryan, has he lost fourth? No, he just hasn't lost fourth place.
Meanwhile, Miss Brilliant came ahead of one of the Tararessos, I think, there, and that's caused the Tararesso driver to get a bit of a glitchy happening. Unfortunately, a little bit wide, and Miss Brilliant in P5, under pressure from a teammate, Connor Kay, who's lost ground initially, but on the prime tyres, in a very good position, and Ryan now down to fourth place, thanks to that sensational piece of driving from XRL Michaels. And well, Luke, I called it a dark horse, but you seem to have called it so far. The question is, has he got the pace to remain it for the rest of the race here?
Well, it's going to be on the first couple of laps, but it seems to be able to fight out with the top two. I mean, Ryan's going to have to... A win is not enough for Ryan here. He's 9 points behind, so he's going to need Assassin to get a minimum of third place.
Exactly, and Escarcin's currently got the high ground as we go through turns 8 and 9 in towards the end of the sector, and you can see that Ryan's actually falling away, but Escarcin's gone wide at turn 9 before 10, and that's allowed Ryan to catch up. XRL Michaels, meanwhile, has broken away a little bit here, as has Flame Dragon, so at the front of the row, the pace is pretty consistent. Gaps maybe 3 and 4 seconds across all 4 places. Now, there's no DRS at this moment, so Ryan's not going up to his rescue, and Escarcin's got a great run through 12, actually, and I think he's going to have a look here on XRL Michaels. Curves being deployed, no DRS level. Escarcin's not going to let that stop him as he pulls out of the slipstream down the middle of the circuit, heading into turn 13. XRL Michaels defends to the outside, is going to try and do the comeback line, and Escarcin puts up beautifully on the inside, and that's all too easy. And the Mercedes driver goes to second place. Meanwhile, Ryan could not take advantage, so Ryan has now got XRL Michaels between him and Escarcin. His title challenge is falling away from him.
He's hit the back of the McLaren there, actually, and he's got to watch out for the 2 Lotus drivers that are all over them as well. They've caught up to this battle, so these, initial 6 have got a bit of a gap to the second half behind them, but yes, that's not the start that Ryan needed.
Well, in the meantime, Ryan now looking at the back of XRL Michaels as both Miss Brilliant and also Connor Kay in the Lotus start to catch up, so this is going to be a critical position here. Obviously, the prime tyres not quite got the grip initially off the line. On the chat box, the stream of the channel 1 is that's where Ryan's tag is, because he's not shown up, but they're still in the lobby. Half an hour late, GB3 are going for an endurance race here. As XRL Michaels goes wide at turn 1, Ryan's going to have a look underneath for turn 2, but he's just not got the grip.
And I like the big doors invited me to GP3. It's a revelation. But as you see, Ryan on the front behind.
It's the Lotus of Miss Brilliant also on the prime tyres. So P3, 4 and 5 on the prime tyres is a little bit of lag there. But Escarcin, all he's doing, he's getting away from these guys. He's closing in on Flame Dragon.
Now we've seen Flame Dragon be very racy though. We saw it in Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina, where he had his elbows out of the cockpit and hitting the side of the cars as he was going through. So don't expect that Flame Dragon to make this easy. But DRS flat over for Ryan, a curse deployed and empty. He fancies to move with XRL Michaels, who stays to the outside. Ryan does on the inside, going to be careful to not break himself here. Gets on the brakes nice and early. Oh, he drifts wide, hits XRL Michaels, and Miss Brilliant goes behind and powered them. And so does Connor Kay.
And has he done it?
Free abreast through turn 14 to 15. XRL Michaels go back through. And new one, Ryan dies underneath him. Side by side to 17. Great driving here for Connor Kay. With this poor traction, there gets a little bit of a light push, which makes it go ahead on the inside of turn 18. Ryan down to 6th place here.
Gaston is going to be loving this.
Oh, Ryan's hit the back of Connor Kay, who's screwing on those option tyres. Ryan wants to move on the inside of turn 20, but he's just not got the grip, and now all of a sudden, RC Rapids in the web ball has closed onto the back of Ryan. It's within DRS range, and behind him in the Williams, we've also got Sick Barry on DRS 2. So Ryan does on the inside of Connor Kay at turn 1, and makes that move beautifully sticky. He had to get past that Lotus. He can't afford to be held up any longer, but both XRL Michaels and Miss Brilliant in the way of Ryan and the Scarsin. The cards are so far fallen the way of the Scarsin, who could well become champion here at Austin, Texas.
Definitely, and I think actually Scarsin is closing in very quickly on the back of Flame Dragon, so we could potentially see a battle for lead developing in the next few laps. But
meanwhile, Connor Kay's actually tried just drove around the outside of Ryan. Ryan made a mistake at the end of sector 2, so he's back down, unbelievably, to 6th place. And now we've got XRL Michaels looking at the back of this bridge. So a huge cluster of cars at the back of the field, but all eyes on the front, as this is championship importance.
Rapids in the mix on Ryan. This
XRL Michaels around the outside of Miss Brilliant at turn 13. He goes a bit too deep. Nearly goes off the circuit, but XRL Michaels not close enough as Ryan is now under real pressure here as both RC Rapids drives around the outside of him. And now Connor Kay's going to dive on the inside of turn 15. This race is unravelling for Ryan. He's down in 6th place, diving on the inside at 17. But Ryan did not need to be battling these guys. And now all of a sudden Connor Kay lags in front of him, but Ryan dives on the inside at turn 18, trying to make sure he stays ahead of that Lotus, who's all over the place at the moment. Ryan doesn't have a clue where he is. Oh, Ryan gets punted a little bit there by Connor Kay. Connor Kay waits up, and now Sick Harry wants to move on the inside of turn 20, but Ryan just about hangs on to P6.
You can't keep up. You just simply cannot keep up with this.
XRL Michaels diving on the inside here as Miss Brilliant. Oh, 1-4 times slightly over the line there. He's done a little bit of a weave. He realised he got a corner cut, and now allows Miss Brilliant to get away from him.
Side pod glitch. Side pod glitch turn 1. Connor Kay hit by one of the Williams drivers, and he's gone down to P11.
I'm not really surprised because the lag that Connor Kay was showing, Ryan got into the battle a couple of times as well. And the Scarsin now is pretty much in DRS range of Flame Dragon. If the Scarsin takes victory here, he'll not only win a race in Austin, Texas in the United States, but he will also win the championship. As XRL Michaels looks at the back of Miss Brilliant going into turn 12, a bit too far adrift, but now on the exit with the full bar of curves, he should blast past here. We saw Miss Brilliant defending beautifully last week at Abu Dhabi, using both DRS zones, but there's no DRS sequentially here, so she's going to lose position, and XRL Michaels has got to make sure that he takes advantage. But at the same time, she dives on the inside, and XRL Michaels tries to cut the cutter, but it is brilliant, beautiful defensive driving to keep ahead.
Gaston was alongside Flame Dragon there, coming out of turn 13 into 14, but Flame Dragon just held it on the inside, and he retains the lead for now, but Gaston all over the back of him, and you think it's just a matter of time before he takes that lead.
And Flame Dragon, they've been having many duels throughout this season, but Scarsin's come out on top most of the time, and Scarsin knows that if he can clear Flame Dragon, they've already got a gap of about 5 seconds back to the likes of Miss Brilliant and XRL Michaels, which is critical for the championship, as Scarsin needs as many cars as he can. Absolutely unbelievable.
Indeed, and the further thing that's helping him is because all the guys behind them now are on the prime tyres. Those guys in P3, 4, 5 and 6, as XRL Michaels has a look at Miss Brilliant in towards turn 1, but she just parks it on the inside and maintains position for now. But you just think XRL Michaels has just got the better pace at the moment.
LTS says that if Ryan wins, Scarson needs a top 2 finish to win the title. Quite correct. 9 points or more is what Ryan needs to take this to a decider at Interlagos. As Miss Brilliant makes a mistake, goes over the inside, slows down, and now allows XRL Michaels to catch up to the back. But meanwhile, got to get to the front because the Scarson and Flame Dragon are battling for the lead, and this is critical for the title.
I can confirm it was Dick Harry who caused the sidepod glitch. He's got a 10-second penalty to his name. But as you can see, it's quite close all over the field. Assassin going for a move on Flame Dragon, and there's a battle for third going on.
Well, Scarson's just got a DRS on Flame Dragon and he's dumped all of his curse battery. But he's on the outside of turn 13 and we've seen this Brilliant defending beautifully on the inside, and Flame Dragon takes a leap out of her book. And Scarson tries to use the cleaner entry, but not if he got corner cuts him in there because he's suddenly gone out of the gas, and Flame Dragon retains the lead. And this is still allowing Ryan to come into play. Don't forget, these guys on the prime tyres will be able to go on the options later in the race, whereas the Scarson and Flame Dragon will have to go to the primes. Now, last week in Abu Dhabi, that was a potential race-winning strategy. So who knows, Ryan may yet still be in this. We've got 50 laps to go, don't forget, anything could happen. Meanwhile, I've received quite a few messages. F4 Speed saying that you can now watch GP3 on Channel 1. So you can check it now on the multi-Twitch if you like. Scarson on Ryan to win. His comments from Jamie. Meanwhile, XRL Patronus saying, go Michaels, what an overtake. Talking about that fantastic move right at the start. Speaking of XRL Michaels, on the outside of Miss Brilliant, locks up badly, goes totally wide, and actually brings RC Rapids now into play. Meanwhile, on the street, Jetpackers simply says Codemasters suck. Well, I don't know many people that would disagree with you at the moment, as Ryan is now under pressure from the Pied Piper.
Ryan just seems to be struggling. He's just falling through the field. I mean, I know he's had a fair few battles with people, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace now, even though he's got clean air.
Well, I wonder if it's something to do with having full tanks, because usually F4 do 50%ers, they don't do as many 100%ers as the likes of Umaden do, or the likes of XRL Bernie are now doing GP2, and that might be catching them out here, because the heavy tanks is so difficult to cope with if you're not used to driving on it.
Scarson has no DRS active. He's got the green flap available to him, but he's not using it, so he's got a DRS problem, and that's allowing Flame Dragon.
Pied Piper got DRS on the back of Ryan, but he's not close enough to attack the Ferrari driver at this time. The last thing Ryan needs to fall behind Pied Piper down to 7th. Got RC Rapids in 5th place doing a great job, and XRL Michaels hanging on the 4th, but he's fallen away a little bit from Miss Brilliant, and interestingly, she's closed the gap a bit on the Scarson and Flame Dragon. So maybe the option tyres are getting into that cliff window. We saw in the F1 division that they drifted away after around about 8 laps. We even saw drivers in on lap 6. So we might see a few. That Flame Dragon dives in now. So talk about for prophetic there. He goes straight into the pit. Mitch Brilliant goes on turn 20, and the Scarson stays out in the lead. XRL Michaels will be in DRS range, but he's just too far behind to be of any real factor up the hill.
They say this track is actually known for a 2 or 3 stop strategy. So with Flame Dragon pitting that early on lap 7, what strategy is he doing?
Could potentially be a 4-stop if he goes all out attack, maybe doing like option prime, kind of like the Ice Cold Andy strategy we saw work beautifully at Hungaroring last season. It's possible he might be going for that, but with the length of the lap time here, I'm not sure if you'll gain it back over the thing. It's not like you're attacking on a short distance where you can put in power laps. You've got such a long lap, it's almost as long as Spa. Let's put that into context here. So you've got a long circuit, it's harder to get this commentary things moving forward. On the screen, meanwhile, Killer 183 checks in. Good evening to you, saying excellent commentary. Well, we like you to keep stroking our egos. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. Miss Brilliant is now within the 1 second detection point of Scarson, so she's now caught up to Scarson on those prime tyres, and XRL Michaels is along for the ride as well. So Scarson may not have it all his own way, as those option tyres seem to be falling off.
Well, as I say, they do fall away quite quickly, and that's why you might see drivers trying to get the prime tyre out of the way, go deep, maybe to around about lap 14 or so, and then get yourself into a position to switch your strategy around. On the option tyres, though, of course, you're protected from an early safety car, because you're not going to you can boot box with the tyres early and still make a strategy on the prime tyres work. No chance of a safety car on the moment, though the drivers have been pretty well behaved, and the field is starting to spread out now, actually. We've got a few more gaps in there, though. This Brilliant is up the tailpipe from Viscarsi as we enter into turn 20, which is a bit out of shape on the entry there, and that allows XRL Michaels to close up. These two will have the DRS, but the biggest threat at the moment to Viscarsi is Miss Brilliant as she gets the flat forward, takes a look, gets off the slipstream early, but it's nowhere near enough to make a move.
Definitely, yeah. The option tyres can easily last the best part of maybe 14 laps or so. We've seen this in the F1 division where we saw, I think, the likes of Ciaru, I think, doing a 13 or 14 lap stint. So they can last a long while, but those prime tyres just come into effect and last so much longer. So perhaps at this early stage, it's better to be on these prime tyres and be on the options towards the end.
Scott's made a mistake in turn 9 and 10 there, and that's allowed Miss Brilliant to close right up. Now, she might fancy a cheeky move here, get the DRS detection and dive around at turn 12 to pull away from Viscarsi. No, she thinks better of it, but not trusting doing marvels on the inside, and actually breaks very, very early there, and that almost catches XRL Michaels out. So XRL Michaels, who showed early in the race that he's not afraid to attack more than one car, but he's not close enough to attack Miss Brilliant. She's got the DRS over Viscarsi. This looks pretty good. She takes her favourite line on the inside, gets on the brakes. As she stopped the car just a little wide with no contact, Viscarsi has to yield, and that puts him with the pressure on XRL Michaels. Viscarsi tries to dive on the inside at turn 14. Miss Brilliant goes a little wide, gets tail slip on the curb. Viscarsi side by side, but he gets out of the move at turn 17. As the movement being moved from XRL Michaels on the inside, but Viscarsi looks to go for the traction and hangs on to second place.
I think if I was Viscarsi now, I'd be pitting, getting out of the way of these people and getting a fresh set of boots.
Jay Pierce loses connection.
Wow. Well, what I do know is Flame Dragon was in clean air on prime tyres. His car ran about 2-3 seconds ahead, so he found clean air, so he will gain from this. Just how much?
Well, Viscarsi stayed out, and he's got DRS on the back of Miss Brilliant as they head into turn 1. Viscarsi looks on the inside. All 4 tyres dangerous across the white line, and also Miss Brilliant gets caught by XRL Michaels, and RC Rapids has now got into this as well. Around turn 2, RC Rapids wants to move on the inside of 3, but he's just not close enough to attack. Meanwhile, look at this, Miss Brilliant under real pressure in a free cast. Puts it up the rear there by XRL Michaels, but doesn't lose any traction and doesn't get any damage. RC Rapids riding on board with the Red Bull drivers with a 4-car scrap for the lead here as Miss Brilliant dives wide on the outside at turn 10. RC Rapids makes the same mistake, loses critical grip. Meanwhile, behind them, Ryan's back into play all of a sudden. He's in 5th place now, and RC Rapids, forced wide, almost hits the back of XRL Michaels, and Ryan cheekily dives on the inside, but he's side by side with RC Rapids. Both of them have the DRS here, but curse deployed by Ryan, and that was fastball driving from the Ferrari driver to get ahead there.
Certainly has got RC Rapids. He's got the slipstream. He might have a cheeky look down on the inside. Does he? He's half thinking.
Look at this, Miss Brilliant side by side with Viscarsi as we head towards turn 14. She's on the outside. Viscarsi tries to filter onto the title line, and XRL Michaels is now getting into the mix with us as well. As we into turn 17, XRL Michaels is trying to get a tight line there. Miss Brilliant takes a little look on the inside, but Viscarsi gets just better traction into turn 18 as she has to filter into second place as Ryan looks in the back of XRL Michaels. While RC Rapids is attacking as well. 5 cars come up by less than 2 seconds here.
And all this is happening. Who's this helping?
Viscarsi bosses.
This is just helping Flame Dragon after he made his early pit stop.
I think Viscarsi's got his eye on second place here in this race. Not really bothering about Flame Dragon, and more concerned about Ryan, who's now in P3 and has DRS and XRL Michaels and bails out of the move early, realising he might hit the back as Miss Brilliant goes a little wide there. I'll catch that XRL Michaels who drifts wide, and Ryan might fancy sweeping around the outside, Kimi Räikkönen-esque here. And turns to Austin, Texas. Beautiful move, planted his car in the right position and forced the Michaels to yield. Great driving.
RC Rapids having a little look around the outside there. Now the 2 Williams are getting involved in this as well. This is, well, we know F4 have lived up to their name with fantastic racing.
Big hit from outside for a sick Harry there, I believe, on the option tyres. The RC Rapids forces him out wide, shutting the door very forcefully indeed. And XRL Michaels lets him move at turn 12. We saw Ryan make the move, and indeed he dives on the inside. He's got the title line, but Ryan uses the Carton wide to get the extra grip. Curves the play by XRL Michaels. He's going to have the DRS, and Ryan critically does not have it. So XRL Michaels shut up the high ground into turn 13, riding on board with Ryan and the Ferrari, who tries to filter back into the slipstream, trying to go around the outside. XRL Michaels, all 4 tyres over the inside. Disaster corner cut there.
He's going to have to yield. He has to give that back by the end of the lap if he does, but he doesn't seem to be. He seems to be defending from Ryan.
Ryan's an all-out attacker behind him. RC Rapids is as well.
This is really playing into Assassin's hands now. Ryan continuing to be held up by XRL Michaels.
Oh, Rapids has gone off for turn 18, and that's going to allow Sick Harry to drive around the outside of him in the Williams. But then RC Sick Harry goes so far wide, he's almost into Austin itself there, as we lose connection once again to J Pace. Sort yourself out, boy. DRS now over at Pied Piper. It's actually Pied Piper who made the move, not Sick Harry. And going into turn 1, Pied Piper taking a look on the outside. Gets pretty close there as RC Rapids takes the title line. And as SCU, meanwhile, Flame Dragon down in 6th place is being followed very quickly by the sister McLaren of Irish Blue Gunner. As Scarsin, meanwhile, has dropped behind by quite a way because John Digweed is now down in 8th. As Scarsin's all the way down in 9th.
I don't know if we noticed that then, Switch, but we've lost Connor Kay. He's just been disconnected from the session, and we know he was lagging earlier on, but we've lost one of the Lotus drivers.
Meanwhile, Flame Dragon taking a look at the back of the Sister Williams being piloted by Pied Piper, who got a decent run there. Meanwhile, we've got a 3-car squad for the lead once again. We've got back in the chain is Ryan in 3rd place, and then 2nd place, XRL Michaels trying to catch up to Miss Brilliant. On the stream, meanwhile, I've got an inappropriate comment, I can't read that. Sorry, Stuart, I'm not reading that on the stream. Meanwhile, LGS6 there was an illegal overtake from Scarsin, potentially. I'm not sure what move that was, but I'm pretty sure you've got it noted down on the report.
Indeed, I do.
So as Ryan looks at the back of XRL Michaels and the McLaren into 2nd place. Welcome back, Luke. Miss us?
Random disconnection.
Well, meanwhile, in 4th place, meanwhile, we have RC Rapids and a Red Bull doing a decent job, being followed by Flame Dragon, this teammate, and Flame Dragon with fresher tyres here, so you imagine that he's going to get by very quickly indeed. As Pied Piper has got both the McLaren. Oh, interesting. XRL Michaels pits already on lap 12. Pied Piper goes in on the option tyres on the same lap. Irish Blue Gunner therefore goes through. John Digweed, meanwhile, also pops ahead of the Sister Williams. As Flame Dragon has DRS on the back of his teammate RC Rapids. Coming into turn 1, Flame Dragon gets on the brakes. And that's pretty much easy peasy. And he gets past his teammate beautifully there.
Now, where does it? XR Michaels comes out. He comes out in P8 in a lot of clean air, but I think, is that a Scassin? It is a Scassin who's ahead of him in P7 on the prime tyre. So he's got about a 5-second gap to catch up.
5 seconds is not a lot though when you have fresh tyres. Don't forget, Scarsin's gone for the slower compound.
Definitely, yeah. So XR Michaels has the upper hand at the moment, but can he gain that time back as he's really pushing it there through that twisty section? I mean, that first sector there reminds you of Silverstone actually through Maggots and Beckett's. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Meanwhile, Ryan looking at the back of Miss Brilliant. He's got the DRS flap open, but he's just too far behind the Lotus driver, who's doing a great job so far this week, using the prime tyres to good effect. Currently leading the Grand Prix. Showed last week in Abu Dhabi great performance when she came 3rd behind both Ryan and eventual winner Jordan. So definitely a good job.
You know, that's because I became a manager.
If you go by Stuart's comment on the stream, you came a lot more than that. RC Rapids, meanwhile, looking at the back. Looking at the back of his teammate Flame Dragon, who goes a little wide at turn 17, but RC Rapids just not close enough to attack. So Ryan, meanwhile, trying to attack the back of Miss Brilliant in the Lotus, and Ryan's actually going to box early, going for lap 13, maybe trying to get an undercut here to try and jump ahead of the driver. RC Rapids stays out, he's on to lap 14 on those primes, going deep into the Grand Prix, evidently wanting to try and go for the 2-stop strategy rather than the 3, which can have ultimate pace, but also it requires a lot of effort and consistency.
I mean, the key thing to look out for here is ultimately a couple of seconds behind Ryan before pit stop, so he's caught up quite a bit on those. So if he's making the extra stop, he's making it count right now, as he's only 2-3 seconds yet.
Yeah, exactly, and you can see that RC Rapids, watches his teammate starts hopping around like it's a Mexican lowrider there, got nowhere near the tarmac. RC, the Flame Dragon's connection always gives us a few laps, it has to be said. And you can see that Miss Brilliant now going, he goes too deep, Flame Dragon, goes almost totally off the circuit, manages to stop the car, lost a lot of time, so no real advantage gained. But that's allowed RC Rapids to start catching up to him, and crucially, Miss Brilliant to break away.
Ryan has started out behind XRL Michaels crucially here. So he's going to try and work his way back through the field again. Past Michaels.
Well, we saw at the start of the race that he was really compromised, being caught in the battles and the duels with everybody else. He really struggled to get through these drivers and actually falling down the field. As the fuel starts to burn up, you probably see his pace come back to play, but definitely not the start he needed if he wants to have any chance in this title race.
I mean, anything can happen. I mean, there's been quite a few disconnections, me twice. I mean, Jordan, there was the Pied Piper. There was John Digweed. There's so many. It's unpredictable. Sadly, there might be another, not a retirement, disconnection, which could easily shape the title race.
Oh, what was that from Irish Blue Gunner? He was going into the pits and has somehow lagged back on the circuit. He's had to do an extra lap. He's been passed by his teammate, but I've never seen that before. He went into the pits and then lagged back on the track.
We saw that actually in Abu Dhabi last week.
Yeah,
People who missed the pit lane went over it, and then they were lagged back to the beginning of the pit lane so they could go in it again.
Well, he's gone the other way round. He went in, made the exit, but somehow lagged onto the circuit in the middle of turn 20. So he's been caught out badly here, Ice Blue Gunner.
Definitely going to compromise.
So you have to say that again. You went quiet there, mate.
Well, that's going to compromise him definitely. I mean, because, well, on the option tyres, they're starting to really die on him, then he's going to lose a lot of time.
Ryan's fancy to move with XRL Michaels here, who goes a little wide on the outside. Great opportunity here. Kerr's being deployed, and he's going to be into the DRS zone. It's actually Irish Blue Gunner his car pass, but he's already got the DRS open at the activation zone, which is going to allow him to pull away from Irish Blue Gunner, who's trying to gamely keep up in that McLaren. But Ryan's got past the teammate of XRL Michaels. Great performance there, and he's really caught up. And Ascassin has not been able to drop XRL Michaels on the prime tyres. He's really struggling to get away from that McLaren, and that's making life very, very difficult in terms of keeping away from the clutches of Ryan. He's only got 5 seconds to trip now, Ryan. John Digweed, meanwhile, has quietly done himself really well. He's up to P4, and P3 we've got RC Rapids, and now Flame Dragon attacking the back of Miss Brilliant into turn 20. Just not close enough to make the move, but she stays out until lap 16, going very deep indeed. DRS flat wide over a Flame Dragon, and he pretty much waves his way past. Gives it a slide away, bit of a look up into turn 1 now, but that's pretty much easy pickings for the rugby driver.
Certainly is, and well, he's got that big gap now actually over to everyone who's actually made a pit stop. So Flame Dragon looking good at the moment, but I just think will that early pit stop come back to haunt him and bite him in the bum later?
Meanwhile, XRL Stewart making up a lot of tosh on the stream saying that apparently Sky Sports have agreed a deal to make me the commentator. It's not true. So meanwhile, in 5th place, we've got Ascassin now, who's actually being really badly hounded by XRL Michaels in the McLaren. And we've seen XRL Michaels really attacking Ascassin in the last couple of races, and we did it earlier on, let's not forget, with that magnificent double pass into turn 13. And on these option tyres, he's got the pressure compound, the extra pace, and that's allowing him to catch up. Kerr's being deployed, and Ascassin defends by dumping all of the battery into the rear tyres. But XRL Michaels with the DRS flap open, not really catching up to the Mercedes just yet, but he might fancy a late braking move. No, it's just too far adrift, but Ascassin goes deep off the circuit, and XRL Michaels goes, thank you very much. And the crucial thing now is Ryan has closed up as a result of that as well.
Realistically, that might actually not be such a bad thing for Ascassin. I mean, he might have let Michaels through, but realistically, he's not trying to race Michaels, he's trying to make sure he stays ahead of Ryan. And continuing in a battle with Michaels might have cost him more time to Ryan, closer than he wants him to be.
XR Stuart, I must warn you, I can't read inappropriate comments, so please stop putting them there. You're embarrassing yourself.
Is he putting anything in regards to me, Swish, can I ask?
Read it yourself, I'm not commenting.
Oh, great.
XRL Michaels trying to catch up to the back of John Digweed. Oh, and XRL Michaels makes a big corner cut at turn 1 there, hitting the bollard as well. Now, Ascassin started to gain a little bit as a result of that. I think he'll out the gas a little bit. And Ryan's only about 2 seconds adrift of his title rival. Ryan needs to clear Ascassin and do what he can to close that gap down. He can afford, technically, to finish behind Ascassin here, but it will make his chances in Interlagos all that more hard. XRL Michaels looking at the inside of turn 11 on the back of John Digweed in the Ferrari. He's going to make a move at turn 12 before DRS dies on the inside, and that's beautifully done. Now John Digweed goes off the circuit on the outside there, trying to get out of the way of the McLaren. He's not enough DRS, fights back with Kurz though, gets deep into the slipstream, and look at this from John Digweed. Even with DRS, XRL Michaels is not pulling away. John Digweed takes a look on the inside to turn 13, but realises he's just going to drop away on pace and lets him through.
Realistically here, Ryan's teammate is now directly ahead of Assassin. This could... Oh, anyway.
He goes wide, John Digweed, but I think he's going to do a team order here and let his teammate through. He's going to go... Oh, he only just let him through. None of it does seem to. It's too late there. Ryan profits, but not by much. Meanwhile, Icon C asked, what was the pole quali time? I believe it was a 1:35.5 from Flame Dragon, wasn't it? 1:36.5, it was, sorry.
36.4.
Question from LGS on the stream is asking, are we doing commentary for the real-life Italian Grand Prix? There's no plans as yet. I've not had any confirmation of anyone who said they're up for it. Not to say that I won't be, but if we do it, it will be race only because I'm busy on both Friday and Saturday.
I'm busy all weekend. I've got work again, so I can't do it either.
I mean, I don't think I'm available without racing either, so I will as well. So...
Well, in the meantime, looking at the back of Ryan, who's now all over Escarcin like a rash. Going for a turn 10, into turn 11, Escarcin goes wide here. Ryan's going to fancy his chances to blast past Escarcin and get a lead. Going into turn 12, he's not going to wait. Oh, he filters back in. Realises he's going to spear through the... Oh, then he goes wide. Goes over the inside line, smashes the curb, and now allows it to catch up to Escarcin. Getting the DRS for a moment and the curves. Gets into the slipstream, and it's a great chance for Ryan to blast past Escarcin, his title rival. Gets on the inside of the braking zone. Escarcin tries to go the long way round. Corner cut there for Ryan, and he goes up the circuit. So Escarcin goes, never mind, go back through.
That line never looked realistic. He's going to hold it as if he's going to run too far wide, and Assassin is going to get back through there. But XR Michael, like he's catching very slowly on Flame, but it does look like it's less than a pit stop, I believe.
I gotta say, Luke, you need to sort your mic out. You keep fading away and fading back in.
Sorry about
Talk
that.
loud. Talk louder, man.
DRS flat wide up. DRS flat for Ryan, gets open as he goes to the back of Escarcin into turn 1, gets on the brake, oh, nearly goes into the very back of him, forcing Escarcin to go a little wide, and we lose connection once again to Luke. Well, this has been a bit of an enthralling debut for Luke. He's been in and out of here many, many times. Going into turns 3 and 4. Sorry, well, let's continue the innuendos as well as we carry on doing it all day. 5 and 6 and into 7. Escarcin getting a decent line ahead of Ryan into turn 8. Goes a little wide though there, Escarcin. Now allows Ryan to close on into turn 9. And into turn 10, Ryan's all over the back of him. Has to go wide to avoid hitting the back of the diffuser. Into turn 11, the little king before 12. But Ryan's not going to be closer to lunch here. But I think he's definitely going to use the DRS and the curse to blast past that Mercedes this time round.
He definitely thinks so, but the thing is he's already used half a bar of his curves through that sector 1, so he hasn't got as much to his name. And Escarcin, I think in a full bar of curves then, I think he might just be able to pull away. He might be able to hold on.
DRS lap on. We saw this last week in Abu Dhabi when we saw Ryan having major problems getting past Miss Brilliant. We saw her hold up for an entire stint. Oh, it goes a little wide there, very deep for Ryan. Has to get out of the move once again.
Definitely, this isn't helping him really. I mean, all Escarcin needs to do is either finish very close to him or even ahead of him.
Ryan does on the inside of 17, tries a cheeky move, also 4 times over the inside, and he has to let Escarcin go.
He's trying everything in the book, but it's not working for him. He needs to just wait for DRS into turn 1. That'll be his best bet. As he gets a better run
going for turn 20. Oh, he hit the inside there at turn 19. Into turn 20, Escarcin taking a tight defensive line. Ryan's being held up all the time here. Gets into the slipstream. This is a chance here. DRS flat wide open. If he can get ahead and hold up Escarcin using the dirty air, this will be a great chance to break away from DRS into turn 1. Gets on the brakes, keeps it nice and wide. Forces Escarcin onto the outside, but great driving. Side by side to turn 2. He deploys the curves, Ryan, for a magnificent piece of driving there from Escarcin. Keeps him ahead of the Ferrari driver, who took 3/4 of his curves and still could not get past.
Fantastic from Wisconsin. That is the mark of a true champion in this division, and he's showing it tonight against his main rival.
And that's the mark of a true commentator's curse.
Get in there. You know what I'm like, I never curse anybody, touch wood.
You got any crosses available?
I do actually, yeah.
We'll put them away. Right, get into the slipstream for the DRS here, but look at that! Wisconsin jumping away on Kurz, and Ryan had not to respond. He's going to have absolutely no chance to attack here. Down into turn 13. Got the brakes. Has he got close enough? No, he's not.
Say one thing we should look at, which is XRL Michaels. He is really caught up to the back of Flame Dragon. There could be a potential battle for the lead within the next couple of laps, and well, Michaels, he looks really good for his first win. Commentator's curse again.
Miss Brilliantly was come out way down the field, halfway down the DRS zone, when these guys have already got into turn 18. Considering she was in the lead, that's a major net loss in time so far. But then again, put those tyres on for a very long period, and it means you can run the options for a shorter burst to get more pace. As Ryan is finding out to his cost, being held up behind the Mercedes on the prime tyres. He's really not finding it easy. Gets into the slipstream. Oh, a bit of a mistake there from Wisconsin, possibly cost him a few miles per hour. And Ryan gets the DRS open and about a quarter of his curve bar. Heading into towards turn 1, he gets side alongside, gets on the brakes, a little bit of a lock up there, goes a little wide, and forces Wisconsin very wide. Oh, Wisconsin doing spins. They touch into turn 2, but unbelievable drive from these two. Harsh but fair. Into turn 3, Ryan takes the inside landing, push tyres again. Into turn 4, magnificent from Ryan, and he keeps it inside the white lines. Great overtake.
Well, it had to take something very ingenuitive to get past him, and he's done that, and now he needs to hang on through the DRS zone.
But look at this, Wisconsin's got nearly a full bar of cars available to him, and he's going to be close enough for DRS down to turn 13. Ryan may have got past for now, but we saw Lewis Hamilton get past Nico Hulkenberg briefly at Korea. Look what happened there. Indeed, Ryan goes wide, and this is going to allow Wisconsin to use all his cars into the DRS zone, and he's going to blow. Oh no, he's gone live. 5-second lag, I think, there for Ryan. Unbelievable. He's behind Wisconsin, who has DRS to pull ahead. Unbelievably unlucky.
It's team battle going on for P5 to the two Williams as the Pied Piper makes the move on Stick Harry. I think that was all too easy for him, actually. I think Stick Harry just let him through.
Ryan is now back through and Sasson ran wide. But as Ryan had no curves going on to the straight, he didn't have the lag.
Wisconsin now goes through turn 18, gets into the slipstream of the Ferrari, and Ryan, who goes ahead on the outside, gets a little close to the curb. Into turn 19, Ryan goes off the circuit, all four tyres there. Wisconsin got out of the gas to avoid making the same mistake into 20. Goes a little too deep there in this Wisconsin, and allows Ryan to get a few tenths on him, but he's got DRS here, Wisconsin, and I think Wisconsin will fancy closing that gap.
With these two constantly battling, these two, the two Williams behind of Pied Piper and Stick Harry, are closing in on them.
Wisconsin's got wide at turn 1, but so again as Piper, who went off the circuit there, and Stick Harry goes, thank you very much for that one. So he gets through. Meanwhile, LGS says he likes the commentator's curves. Why would you like the commentator's curve? What kind of evil man are you?
He's just as evil as I am. That's Ferrari teammates for you in F1, Swish.
You two have planned this, haven't you? Going through 9 and 10. Ryan gets a little wide there, but Wisconsin's not close enough to take advantage. Moving further back, we've got Stick Harry now ahead of Pied Piper, and he's actually under pressure because behind them is RC Rapids in the Red Bull, who's been decent on the pace so far, potential outsider for a podium because there's a different tyre strategy to these guys, but if he gets past these Williams, he'll have a little bit of clean air.
Mike got within DRS range of Flame Dragon now, so this is now the fight for P1 is now very hottening up.
Pied Piper goes past Stick Harry into turn 13, easily using the DRS. Meanwhile, on the streamer, McFisto82 says, will this league continue into 2015 on Xbox One? There is a plan to do so. I know there's going to be a season at least on 2014. I won't be a part of that because I will have retired. But there is going to be a 2014 season, and then as far as I know, Xbox One 2015 is planned, along with Project Cars. Keep an eye on next week's F1 stream on Sunday at Interlagos, where our league division head and the overall league running himself down Fisk will be giving an announcement about the future of the league, and I imagine things like that will be addressed. As XRL Michaels under DRS looking at the back of Flame Dragon, who locks up and goes wide at 1. XRL Michaels tries to undercut him, but he's just too far behind as they go into turn 2, and he's going to have to stick behind him through this tricky, twisty section where dirty air can really ruin your grip.
RC Rapids on his option tyres. He's got past one of the Williams drivers. He's now having a look at the back of Piper through turn 2. He's used his curves and he's coming towards turn 3. He's looking on the outside, but just has to back out of it.
It's a tricky place to get past. We saw Ryan do that initially, but then Scarson get the jump on him.
Oh, Piper just went to the side of RC Rapids, then forced him off the track. Aggressive, but just about fair, I would say.
What, by forcing him off the track? What kind of madness is this?
That's just me, Switch.
Curves being deployed, a DRS flap over from XRL Michaels as he gets into the slipstream of Flame Dragon. Flame Dragon's weaving a bit here, he's got to be careful. You can only make one change of direction on the straight, you have to leave room. XRL Michaels a bit wary of the Red Bull driver who gets a four-wheel drift into turn 13. Oh, and then XRL Michaels gets turned into by Flame Dragon into turn 14. Flame Dragon being very aggressive in his defence here, he's got to be very careful. He doesn't want to get slapped with a penalty now when he's got such an advantage over the likes of Scarson. Into turn 17, XRL Michaels backs out of it.
Ryan started putting out gaps from our assassin, so we'll be catching on this battle for first. It will be crucial towards the title threat.
XRL Michaels looking at the back of Flame Dragon who gets initially poor entry into turn 20, goes a little wide, over the wide line that slows the car down. XRL Michaels fancies an opportunity and DRS deployed. Flame Dragon defends aggressively to the pit wall. XRL Michaels tries to go around the outside of the karting line to get the cutback into turn 2, but he locks up onto the marbles and XRL Michaels loses the ground. Yes, of course, for those of you who aren't aware, of course, this stream, next week's F1 race at Interlagos and the F4 Interlagos will be the last chance that you will see me doing XRL commentary before I retire and put my feet up. And that's why we're going to have a fresh one in the box for you from next season. Keep an eye for all the announcements in next week's F1 race.
And this is why I've said that I'm very privileged to be the last person to commentate with Pete Marcroft, i.e. Switchbone, for next week.
Well, Flame Dragon was a little wide there at turn 12, but that's going to open the door for XRL Michaels, who gets the curse deployed coming off the turn using the extra traction. DRS flat wide open, gets into the slipstream behind Flame Dragon and the Red Bull, who's moved at least 2 or 3 times here. He's got to be really careful. He's pushing the limits on the rules. XRL Michaels goes to the outside. Flame Dragon once again defending to the inside, though, and holding Michaels off.
Assassin's being caught by a Williams from behind, so his day might be about to get even worse. Oh no, that Williams has just run wide.
It's the Piper who's catching up to the back of him, who's looking very good actually on his prime tyres himself.
Heading into turn 18, XRL Michaels sticking with the battle for the lead at the moment because this is the main close battle on circuit that we have a few back through the field, so we'll go back to cover them. As Flame Dragon makes a mistake, it's a little wide at 19. XRL Michaels and Sir Clarkford's retired from the race.
He was running at the back, Swish. He was not. He was about to be lapped, actually. I think so. That's probably. Oh, and who's gone into the box?
That's Flame Dragon. Flame Dragon's in the box, and Ryan now goes into P2 ahead of Scarson. And behind Scarson, of course, is that Williams that's being piloted by Piper. But Piper's lost ground, and we get the contribution, of course, from the dog, giving his opinions on things.
Yeah, he just wanted to get his opinion on that. Scarson.
Meanwhile, LTS has asked what's going on with the Race of Champions. The answer is I don't know, but I will be retired, so I don't know who's going to be covering that.
I put my name forward for that series, so I will be doing it for the F1 division. So I've asked Dan to see if I can do it with him.
Well, if you do end up doing that, I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job, Adam. As Piper goes through the corner at turn 10 there, and that will have gained him a couple of tenths on the back of Scarson. But he has started weaving on the straight there. I'm not sure if that really counteracts the loss of time, but either way, he's now in DRS, but he's got no curse here, and we're seeing Scarson defending using that battery. And look at the amount it puts him away there. It's just, I'm surprised more drivers aren't saving as much of the curse as possible. Thank you, Dog, as I go for the DRS zone. I need to know what the name of your dog is. I should start introducing him since he always gets involved in the stream.
Well, I've got 2 dogs actually, Switch. The one who's back at the moment is my Springer called Milo, and then you've got the little Labrador cross Spanish hunting dog known as Daisy. So I'll let you know which is which, but Milo's the one at the moment.
I don't understand why people call the dogs Daisy. My mum's got a dog called Daisy. It makes me go, why? Really?
It's a female thing.
So what? It's no stupid name. If you had a girl child, you wouldn't call them Daisy, would you?
You never know. You never know.
Welcome back to the 1950s.
Piper now at the back of a Scarson DRS deployed, doesn't use any of his curves, just going to use it to get close to him. And as Ryan has actually gone into the box.
Flame Dragon's now back into 5th place as a result of all these pit stops, actually, and on the prime tyres. Ahead of him is Sick Harry, running on the worn rubber, and then Escarcin is at RC Rapids, is in P3, and their battle for the lead is between Pied Piper and Escarcin. So Ryan must have gone into the box to get rid of the option tyres. So Escarcin back at the front, but he goes wide, and Pied Piper in the Williams is now all over the back of him. And Escarcin really did not need this. He needed clean air here, where he could just get out there, put in the qualifying laps, and get the gap he needs to be able to get those option tyres off, and he's now under pressure from the Williams.
Darth Blue gonna have a penalty now. Don't know what that's for, but he's got a penalty.
DRS lap over from Pied Piper as it gets into the slipstream behind Escarcin. Escarcin stays to the middle of the circuit, taking a lead out of XRL LGS's book into turn 13. Pied Piper trying to get the undercut on the inside, tighter line. Going to try and go around the outside of turn 14. Escarcin knows he's there. Gets the car pointed once again into the middle, and Pied Piper's just been able to force his way through. Oh, meanwhile, look at this Pied Piper down at the inside, turn 17, trying to get the better traction into 17, into 18, but Escarcin puts the car in the right position and defends from a Pied Piper. RC Rapids, we are trying to catch up as we've got a big battle at the back of the points here. In P5, we've got Flame Dragon, and then caught behind them, we've got Miss Brilliant in P6, being chased quickly by XRL Michaels, who tries to drive around the outside of turn 19. That'd be brave but foolish, but he's going to try down on the inside of turn 20. XRL Michaels gets on the inside, that's a great overtake. Gets past the lowest driver, who's now under pressure from Ryan in the Ferrari. On the back of the there's John Digweed actually in the Ferrari. But it's brilliant using the DRS. Pulls side by side with XRL Michaels. Gets on the brakes and John Digweed follows her. Up on the inside, that's the double overtake into turn 2. But John Digweed backs out. I think he got corner cut there. As XRL Michaels goes on the inside of turn 2 into turn 3 and takes that position back. Then on wheels, Miss Brilliant goes off to avoid collision.
It's still across this switch. We've got a 3-way battle for the lead. Yes, Pied Piper's just made a great overtake, and now actually Rapids has gone past Escarcin. And Rapids is now on the inside of Pied Piper, going in towards turn 12. He's used all of his curves, and Rapids now to...
Cyber glitch! He's colliding with Pied Piper, and as a result of that, I get a feeling Rapids is going to stop, and Escarcin's going to go. I didn't think it'd be that easy. Oh well, live and learn. Meanwhile, Sick Harry looks at the back, walks on as Flame Dragon just dives past him and goes, thank you very much.
So unfortunate for Pied Piper, really unfortunate.
Meanwhile, on the stream, I've got a question from XRL Stu saying, do I dispute that Lewis Hamilton will win 8 in a row until the end of the season? I don't know where this has come from. If he said he thinks he can win 8 races in a row, I'll be very surprised, because Rosberg has proven he's got the pace on him, and I will not be surprised either if at Singapore you see Daniel Ricciardo take a victory, and if you see someone like Valtteri Bottas trying for Austin, Texas. Last season we saw what Valtteri Bottas did in that shockingly bad Williams. What can he do in a Williams as good as this one? Looking at the back of RC Rapids is looking at the back of Escarcin, and actually RC Rapids has not deployed his DRS, playing a team game, so let Flame Dragon through going into turn 1. Flame Dragon's going to go on the inside and that allows it to catch up to the back of Escarcin. A major move there. Escarcin's really in trouble for the high-speed section. He's just not got the grip. And now Flame Dragon looking on the outside, turn 8 into turn 9 and 10. Flame Dragon's got all the grip in the world, and he's now going to dive right past him at turn 11 here. And is he going to try and hold on for the DRS? It's going to be marginal and close. Flame Dragon getting on the inside, getting the DRS as well over the detection line. Escarcin tries to go on the outside using the curse to defend, but Flame Dragon's got nearly a full bar, and he's going to pull ahead of the Mercedes and take the first place. No, straight, Escarcin's got DRS. Escarcin was ahead of Flame Dragon, but somehow has DRS. I don't know if that's a glitch, but Flame Dragon has lost the position as a result of it. And then Escarcin goes wide, and that's going to allow XRL Michaels, RC Rapids, and also Flame Dragon to go ahead of him.
That's going to cost him. XRL Michaels.
What happened to Michaels?
He spun slightly. I believe he might have caught the back, not 100% on that.
He did. He tapped the back of Rapids' left rear tyre, and that just caused him into a mini spin. Thankfully, it wasn't a side pod glitch, but he's lost 2 positions as a result, and he's now behind the Williams.
He's behind Sick Harry, he's actually rear-ended him. That's meanwhile the Flame Dragon, I believe. That was RC Rapids has gone into the box.
Rapids is in the box.
Yeah, Rapids has dived into the box, so that releases the Escarcent in the Mercedes, who behind him has got XRL Michaels, who's gone ahead of the Williams, who took very lucky, and meanwhile, John Digweed in 4th place. On this new, plenty more comments coming on about the real life F1. LGS would not be surprised if Bottas wins at Monza. Neither would I, to be honest, because that Williams has looked pretty good. Though I must say, at Spa they were disappointing, and that's usually a form indicator. And I think an outside chance of victory there is actually Ricciardo with that sensational win at Spa-Francorchamps. Meanwhile, on the stream as well, McFisto82 says if Hamilton gets a clean weekend with no reliability issues, he will be unstoppable. And Sir Clark, meanwhile, comments on his retirement, saying embarrassing pace from himself tonight, no practice, nowhere near the race pace, and Flame Dragon is looking quick.
But he was right about Flame Dragon anyway.
XRL Michaels gets into the DRS zone behind Escarcent and the Mercedes. Escarcent defends to the middle of the circuit. XRL Michaels trying to go underneath him. Hits the back of that Mercedes. He's got to be careful he doesn't do that too much. We saw what happened on the previous lap. XRL Michaels tries to drive on the outside of turn 14. Has to back out of the move when he's on the marbles now, losing all the grip. And as we said, all meantime, John Digweed now catching up in the Ferrari, doing a great job. Behind them is Ryan in 5th place, and then 6th, Irish Blue Gunner in the sister McLaren.
I cannot see Ryan. It says tournament white screen.
Well, you're the one who's had those dodgy connections tonight, so we're not going to trust your judgment on this one. XRL Michaels in P3 gets behind at the back of the Escarcent. DRS swap open, and the curse heading towards turn 1 on the uphill hairpin. Gets a look at Escarcent. Is he going to fancy a late braking move there? Gets on the brakes, a little bit of a lock up, but he goes over the inside slightly by the looks of it. Might have just been legal. Going around the outside of turn 2, trying to wall of death into turn 3. Has Escarcent given him the room? Yes, he has. And Michaels takes the position.
Digweed's right on the back of him as well.
Yeah, John Digweed could do his teammate a favour here, but then he goes wide at turn 7, which allows Escarcent to get away at turn 9 into 10, so Escarcent will breathe a little easier. The last thing he needed was a Ferrari in his rearview mirrors today. Over half race distance now, viewers. Still plenty of action here to come, courtesy of GTL Mega Racing and GameBot.co.uk. Please keep your messages coming in, whether it's on Channel 2 or, of course, if you're using Xbox Live. Meanwhile, Clark is saying nice move from XRL Michaels. Yes, it was, but it's not as good as the move he did at the start of the race. Meanwhile, LGS thinks that Bottas will win at Monza. He's definitely a good bet, but I would not bet against it. Meanwhile, McFisto says only halfway through and great racing. This happens every week in F4, it will seem.
Certainly is, and this is why I keep on saying this is actually the best division to watch each week, week in, week out. So tune in, guys, every single week when we do the F4 division, because it lives up to its name, even though there's only one more race left after this one.
And what a race it's going to be. 70 laps of Interlagos, Brazil. A race that really can throw anything into the air. Now make sure you're there for it also for the F1 division. That'll be on Sunday evening. And tomorrow night, you can catch the double header of F5000 and T6 as John Digweed dances over on the inside of Escarcent here, where he's got the DRS swap over, not using the extra drag reduction behind the slipstream of Escarcent. Escarcent goes to the outside, though. John Digweed briefly goes ahead. He's going to get on the inside as Escarcent going on traction to drive around the outside and defend. No, he does not. John Digweed goes ahead into 2, and that's a move done and dusted. And Ryan's gone ahead. How did that happen? Ryan's dived on the inside of Escarcent.
I have no knowledge of that. As that can go to comparison, so.
Oh, that's what John Digweed sees his mate there and goes, go on through, please. It's like, Ryan is faster than you. Can you confirm you understand this message?
Does he also know the message to hold up Escarcent?
Well, that's the big question here, because Escarcent down the Mercedes, looking close to the back of Digweed, but ahead of that, Digweed's got a pretty decent gap on him, and DRS will also be available to John Digweed here, so John Digweed will be using his teammate as a tow. Oh, and then he gets on the brakes very early there, John Digweed. Escarcent had to back right out of that to avoid going into him, like Weber did at the back of Cobble Island at Valencia in 2010. That was very nearly a big incident there, and if there had been a collision, I'm pretty sure the stewards would have been looking at that one.
No, John Digweed is Definitely playing the team game here, helping his teammate out as much as he can, and Ryan is building that gap up, and it's just helping him.
Shades here of what Rene Arnoux did out to Alan Prost in the mid-90s when he was partnered by Olivier Grouillard, holding up at Scarson and ruining his race. And is Scarson passing a cheeky move to the box there? Yes, he is. And Scarson thinks, I'm not going to fall for that move, and decided to get out of the way of these guys. I'm going for an undercut.
Potentially that could work out for him, but what it does, well, you will probably have some clean air as well, but it's going to put him right at the back of the field.
Meanwhile, XRL Stewart is on the street saying that he agrees with me about Ricciardo, saying it'll be good because judging on Spa, they have fantastic straight line speed in the Red Bull. Also, LGS points out that Grid Autosport Leagues also run on Thursday and Friday evening for those of you who want to see a different kind of racing. Can't say it's my favourite game, so I'm not going to say any more than that. I'll be diplomatic on this one. Also, you can keep an eye. Well, the XRL Classics has now ended, but for next season there will be hopefully another Classics League to follow as well. Plenty of racing to follow here on the Excite Racing League.
Indeed there is, and Ascarsin, after making the pit stop, has come out in P9, just ahead of Irish Blue Gunner.
That's not really realistically the worst position to be in. He's quite far behind all the drivers. There's no real packed drivers ahead of him. You've got Piper on his own, and then ahead of him you've got Miss Brilliant on her own, and then you've also got Sick Harry on his own, and in 5th place you've got RC Rapids before anyone's really close to each other. So there's lots of pockets of clean air, and if Ascarsin can pick them off quickly using the fresh rubber, it could be a major threat to Ryan later on in the race.
Potentially, yes, it depends on what. That's fine.
Already, so don't bother.
Okay. Okay then. So just
I'm guessing that's Luke retiring.
Yeah, could potentially be. But yeah, actually, saying this, even though Ascarsin's got these brand new tyres on, it depends on what he's going to go on at the end. I mean, he will only have to do one more stop. But then again, so will Ryan, and Ryan has effectively got a pit stop ahead of him.
LGS points out there's no classic cars in 2014. That does not mean there'll be no classic league. There's nothing to stop the league carry on using 2013 for a season.
Just means you just go back to the 2013 game.
Meanwhile, Sir Clarkman says he's off to drown his sorrows. Flame Dragon for the win if he can keep connection. Looking forward to Brazil, actually have pace there. As for real F1, Hamilton for the win provided Rosberg doesn't strike again.
I'm hoping Rosberg will strike the gravel. Something
what
like
gravel?
that.
It's been taken away at Parabolica.
Lesmo.
Good call.
Touché.
RC Rapids getting close to the back of the Ferrari of John Digweed. He goes very, very wide there. And the Red Bull driver's going to be right in the DRS prime here. Gets the flap open. Into the slipstream behind the Ferrari. Getting towards the top speed. Oh, John Digweed getting a little shaky there. Moving one way then the other. Bit deceptive. Didn't really make any moves. But RC Rapids dives on the inside. Tristan says, get out of the way. And goes past.
It's a miracle it fixed itself.
Miracles do happen.
All you have to do is believe. Miss Brilliant, meanwhile, is 7th place on her own, and 8th place, Piper has actually been caught up quickly by Ascarsin. Ascarsin on the prime tyres. So Ascarsin's not confident in the option where, but that suggests to me that if he does stop again, it'll be straight onto the option tyres for all-out qualifying laps.
It will be, indeed. But then again, as I mentioned earlier, the F1 division, you can easily get 15 laps out of the option tyres, so I'm a little bit perplexed actually as to why he's not gone onto them, but whatever floats his boat is all I'll say. Is the Williams
Could
now...
he be trying to make away without another stop here, maybe?
Oh, you'd be asking too much of those prime tyres. There's only a one
Well, I think that as well, but you never know, do you?
You'll just lose so much time. The undercut on here and on fresh tyres is remarkable as to how much it is. The best part of 2.5 seconds a lap, so I wouldn't risk it.
Meanwhile, Sick Harry's caught up to the back of the Ferrari of John Digweed, who's falling through the field like a stone. Now that obviously the tyres are getting towards the end of the stint, and he can't really afford to box yet. He needs to keep these tyres going for a couple of more laps if he's going to make sure he doesn't take too much out of them, if he doesn't want to stop twice before the end of the race. Into turn 12, Sick Harry getting a look at the back of John Digweed, who goes a bit too wide, but Sick Harry follows him onto the AstroTurf and the curves, deploys a load of his curves on Sick Harry, and he's got the DRS flat wide open down towards turn 13. But John Digweed's got good straight line speed in that Ferrari and has held up people for now. Hitting 200 miles an hour, Sick Harry not close enough to attack, and he has to stay behind for another lap.
Unless he fancies a cheeky move into turn 14, which he We had a half a look there just to make sure John Digby knows he's there, but he's gone wide. This could give him a chance to get an undercut through turn 17.
It's turn 17, and look at that, quite very prophetic, as John Digby goes off the circuit by quite some distance, and that allows him to sneak up the inside. Intelligent driving there. Meanwhile, up ahead in P3 we've got Ryan, and in second place XRL Michaels. But meanwhile, out in the lead, with a good 6 seconds now, is Flame Dragon.
But as we've mentioned, Flame Dragon could be doing an extra stop. So it may come towards him, but he needs to keep on pulling out that gap. So I wouldn't discount XRL Michaels or even in particular Ryan on catching up towards him.
John Digby in the DRS on a sick Harry. I mean, we passed out to turn 13, but that's a futile hope to try and catch up to that car. He's just not got the pace. Moving back through the field, Pied Piper in 8th place has got Scarson closing behind him, but Scarson's not getting that gap down, and he's also not breaking away from Irish Blue Gunner, as Scarson's suddenly not got the pace.
And all this is doing is helping Ryan. So, you know, if they all finish where they are right now, Scarson would only get 2 points, whilst Ryan will get 15. That's a 13-point gap overhaul, which means it will be taken to Interlagos, which is obviously what we want.
Meantime, question from XRL Patronus asking on the stream here via Xbox Live, asking the question, what's the time difference between the compounded tyres? Well, Adam, as you've been our F1 driver and have actually done a full race distance here, you're better qualified than any of us. So what would your answer be?
My answer would be is if you're going for, in terms of qualifying paces, around about half a second to 3/4 of a second. In terms of race, obviously if the brand new tyres you've put them on at the same time compared to somebody else, then it's roughly around about a second a lap. So it's a little bit more in terms of race pace. Obviously less so in towards qualifying because you've got less fuel.
On the streaming while LGS is asking a question for the Art League, asking who do we think will win the F1 Division title, Velocity or Indigo? It's been remarkably close, and it's going to go to the wire in Interlagos, and Velocity had a chance to win at Austin, Texas, and didn't take it. Indigo, though, has shown that he's not at the greatest of pace. So, over a race distance, with all on the line, I would say Velocity, but Indigo might well drag it out at the very last lap.
I will agree with you in the fact that I think Velocity is the quicker driver. We've actually spoken about this between myself and a couple of other F1 drivers, and you know, my opinion is I want NMR Mr. Indigo to win because he's not actually won a race this season, but he's constantly been up there, been scoring points where he can, and he deserves to be where he is, fighting. You know, he's in the top 3, fighting to have a potential chance to win the division. So obviously he does need the remaining last race of Brazil to go his way. But as I said, I would much rather he win it.
Well, actually, Stuart said, or maybe Sayara. Sayara joined the league too late. He's not going to have enough points. Great performance from him.
He's only 21 points off Velocity, so he does have a very, very small chance. But that's only...
He would need to win, and Velocity would need to lose, not score any points.
And Indigo to get no better than 7th, something like that. So he needs a lot to go his way. But you know, you can never discount him. And you know, Sarah,
you can never discount disconnections.
Yeah. Ask me about that one.
Scarson now called to Pied Piper in the Williams on the Ocean tyres. So Scarson getting a bit of a closer run here. He's going through turn 18. He's dropped back a little bit. Obviously doesn't want the dirty air here, but he'll be attacking from turn 19 and into 20 to try and get DRS now towards turn 1. As Pied Piper goes a little wide on entry to 19 there, goes dangerous across to the outside, but gets away with it. Meanwhile, into turn 20, Scarson watches as Pied Piper gets a bit of a tail slip there, as someone's just dived in the pits and not sure who that was.
John Digby.
Into turn 1 of Scarson using the DRS to try and catch up. Getting into the inside there of Scarson, just not close enough. But now, Pied Piper going into turn 2. Desperately trying to close to the back of the Williams and give him a chance on the DRS. Into turn 13, through turns 4 and 5. Into 6 and 7, the double apex right-hander. And actually Scarson almost thought about going underneath him there before turn 8. Into turn 9 and 10, the tricky 90-degree corners. And Scarson's not got the grip to attack here.
How well he does in comparison to Ryan. Ryan will be put away from him bit by bit here. He might not be pressure rubber, but he's getting held up. And that Irish Blue Gun
DRS fly over Wisconsin and curves the Floyd. Gets wise and slips through a Pied Piper. And blast past him, much like when Lewis Hamilton went by Jenson Button and Hockenheim this season. But Pied Piper tried to go around the outside. Very late on the brakes there, went off the circuit. Brave but foolish. RC Rapids in P4 trying to catch up to Ryan, but he's too far behind. And also XRL Michaels doing a good job of keeping Ryan behind him. Ryan's not been able to close the gap on XRL Michaels. And XRL Michaels, while he's not in the frame realistically to beat Flame Dragon, looks pretty much solid for a second place.
But just remember, Flame Dragon might need to do an extra stopping comparison, so that might towards Michaels, and Michaels still could be.
Pipe Piper getting close to turn 1, trying to attack the back of Ascarson, who went past him on the previous lap, but Ascarson's just got too much grip. Heading through turn 2 into turn 3, and now he's got a bit of clean air ahead of him before he gets onto the back of Miss Brilliant in the Lotus, and ahead of her is a bit of clear air as well. So Ascarson won't be too mindful of this, he won't be too disheartened to be where he is on circuit. But unfortunately, we're in that point now where we've got quite a few gaps in the field, and we don't really have any close duels on the circuit. Looking forward to Interlagos then, assuming that Ryan is able to close the gap here on Ascarson. Here we go, both bulls locking horns at Interlagos. Who would you back in that one?
Ascarson simply because of the amount of points he has ahead of him. I don't see him losing it.
I agree, as Saturn. I mean, he's been consistent all throughout the year, so I mean, he's been consistently keeping up there. I can't see him scoring that low unless he has a disconnection. So it's Saturn for me as well.
He has shown recently, though, that he has been lacking a little bit of pace and a little bit indecisive. I mean, we just have to go back to last week, where on that final lap when he tried to overtake C. Palmer, that he activated his DRS and then made a bit of a mistake, and it cost him, and he crashed his car and potentially lost about 10 points. So by which he could have had this title wrapped up already. So he's making it hard for himself. That's for sure. But I still don't think he'll lose it. He's throughout, I think, the middle part of the season, he did a really good job picking up podiums and victories.
News from the F1 division head here. Seyaru has won after Abu Dhabi, after Reese got another penalty. So Seyaru got maximum points. How does that affect the F1 standings?
That means that Seyaru now moves to within, I believe, 19 points.
Oh, still requires a victory.
Because Velexi will obviously will have gained points himself in regards to obviously depending on how much Reese was given, if he was disqualified or if it was just another 10-second penalty as such. But it does move him a bit closer. It does move him closer to Indigo, so he has that potential chance of becoming second in the championship. But it's, again, is it a bit too much to ask? It's like in this F4 division.
Meantime, Ascarson with DRS Open Championship leader here at F4. Attacking the back of Miss Brilliant, now in DRS zone. Heading out towards the braking zone at turn 13. Ascarson fancies a very, very late braking move there. Realised he wasn't going to close the gap, but he might have tried to put the frighteners on Miss Brilliant. Maybe try and force a mistake out of her. Possibly quite foolish, actually, mainly because we saw last week in Abu Dhabi. Wow, LGS says apparently he's only 13 points behind Velocity. Apparently Seyaru's only 13 points adrift.
Game on. Game on is what I will say.
So it's now a three-way scrap for the title. Unbelievable.
On the coach, he's going to miss out on the race of champions.
Meanwhile, Ascarson, was caught by Miss Brilliant. Went wide at turn 19 there. He took a look at the inside 20 and backed out of it. But he is going to have the DRS on the back of the Lotus driver. Heading out towards turn 1. And Miss Brilliant, no, she's got absolutely no chance of defending that one. He blasts past into turn 1. She tries a brave move on the outside, going for the title line into turns 1 and 2. But Ascarson waves a goodbye and drives clean past.
I mean, as so long as we can stay ahead after the DRS race.
And Piper's retired.
It leads off with only
9 drivers, yeah.
Well, I mean, he was guaranteed points. Why would he retire? I think we need to get him in here and find out.
Yeah, I'll get him in.
Meanwhile, Miss Brilliant round on board with her in the moment. Closest to bottom on track is her and Scarson, but Scarson just drove clean away, and even with DRS, that gap's not decreasing too sharply. And I think Scarson's just going to have enough gap here to hang on into turn 13. But he goes a little wide. That opens the door for Miss Brilliant as the dogs get involved once again. Pied Piper, I mean, you were guaranteed to get points with only 10 runners and riders. What caused the retirement?
My controller's just died on me. It's running out of battery and constantly disconnecting and over again. So I was I was battling for the lead at one point. So I put it off and was running at the back, and then my controller just died, and I was pulling it, and it was ghosting me off over and over again. So I retired because it was so far back.
I understand. Well, meantime, we've got a race in the pits here as Ryan has just come out of the box, along with RC Rapids and XRL Michaels. These drivers have all come close. Pied Piper clear there, wasn't able to move things around. LGS saying possible penalty for Brazil for Pied Piper. Well, again, that's up to the stewards, really. You've got to apply common sense here. I mean, you can say that a driver, yes, they retired, but would you, as a driver, want someone disconnected because of the batteries and possibly causing you to crash into them?
As is now ahead of Ryan.
But he's on very old tyres compared to Ryan. Miss Brilliant's also gone ahead of Ryan as well, so Ryan's got to get past her. And we saw some real fireworks between these two at Yas Marino last week, so I won't be too expecting it to be too easy for him. Heading into turn 12, Ryan gets a look at the back of Miss Brilliant, trying to get the curse deployed into the DRS zone. There goes the flap and the curse deployed by Ryan. He gets close to the back of the Lotus. And I get the feeling the DRS is going to be too powerful for Miss Lotus to defend here. Meanwhile, up ahead of them, we're at Scarson trying to close to the back of XRL Michaels, but just does not get enough to get ahead.
Irish Blues at the back of the field is having a battle with RC Rapid and John Digweed. Very close together on track, these three. I mean, and they're close to the car ahead as well, so it could be a battle for final position. Right.
On the stream, meanwhile, XRL Stewart says Ciaru has to win, basically, and hope neither Velocity finish on the podium. He has more wins, so all he needs is both of them not to finish on the podium, and he'll be champion on countback. Very fair point. So Ciaru has a real solid chance, and I get the feeling we're going to see some real fireworks at Interlagos next week. These drivers are going to leave absolutely nothing on the circuit.
I would like to argue for that I'm going for the win in Brazil because I've got some really good pace, just to point out there.
I think everyone has good pace at Brazil, though. Brazil is one of those circuits where a lot of drivers have very similar pace, and I won't be surprised if the top field in qualifying at F1 find themselves covered by less than a second in the entire field, because that's a circuit which encourages everyone to go all out attack.
It is indeed. As Miss Brilliant now in P5 under pressure from RC Rapids in P6. She's gone very defensive to the inside.
Oh, she's come back across and hit him. That was a weave in the braking zone there from Miss Brilliant. And then she's not left a car with at turn 12. That is potentially a penalty, because not only was there a case of weaving in the braking zone, there was no leaving distance. And now Irish Blue Gunner using the DRS behind RC Rapids. And I think he's going to fancy a double overtake here as Miss Brilliant chops across them. John Dewey getting involved. It's unbelievable to run the braking zone. Irish Blue Gunner as RC Rapids gets pushed a little wide there. And Irish Blue Gunner is going to try and take a lunge into turn 14. Ahead of Miss Brilliant, she hits the inside and gets spun out.
Yeah.
Well, it was inevitable that the driving was really not at the highest standard for Miss Brilliant there. And no, you're not allowed to be biased.
I'm not saying anything. the only thing I was going to say was she actually did get a tap from the Ferrari of John Digweed, is all I will say.
Well, in the meantime, now we've got Irish Blue Gunner trying to catch up to the back of the Red Bull of RC Rapids. He's done a good recovery for all of that. Meanwhile, Ryan is down all over the back of the Scarson. Good call there, Luke. So let's keep on board with these two. This is critical for the championship, because if Ryan can get ahead, but the problem is he's got 13 laps to do on those Fortune tyres. Will they last if he gets ahead of a Scarson? And Scarson's on old primes as well, so both of these drivers could be in danger of doing a Kimi Räikkönen at Shanghai in 2013 and dropping way down the field.
Well, as Sassin's recent drop back past Ryan into turn 20.
Oh, into turn 12, Ryan fancies a cheeky move, they brush tyres. Ryan gets a bit of sideways crabbing as a result of the contact. He's got no curves, but he does have the DRS. And there goes the flap as he gets into the slipstream of the Mercedes. As Scarce's sticking the car into the middle of the road, being a lane hugger on the motorway. And as Ryan goes to the outside, trying to take the title line, goes deep on the outside as Scarce sees him coming. He goes a little wide there, Ryan gets no real traction. We fast him over the inside of 14, and that's masterfully done.
I think Scarce's tyres have just about nearly had it, or it's just the freshness of Ryan's. And
meanwhile, on the stream, LGS saying Brazil's his worst circuit, and XRL Stewart is then replied saying everyone's good at Brazil, it's the easiest track to drive. Well, just because it's easy doesn't mean you're good.
Exactly, you got to be consistent and you got to be courteous in a way and respectful.
Well, the thing about Interlagos as well is it's one of the classic circuits in that, like Imola, it's very, very narrow. So if you find yourself in a battle, it's very easy to go off the circuit. Can't hear you, Luke.
Ryan's pulled a gap to Assassin.
I'm not sure what that was. I got a lot of clipping there. I heard you say that there was a bit of a gap created by Ryan, but then you might start clipping out. Hopefully, if you're gonna get, hopefully you can get your better microphone working for the future to get more in particular. Meanwhile, question from LGS is: what's the gap between second and third? XRL Michael's currently going us a DRS activation line. Flame Dragon just going over the end of turn 13, so about 5 seconds. XRL Michael's not out of it yet. Theoretically, it's a Flame Dragon.
Well, just looking at their fastest lap times in comparison, they've both done 1:37.7, so they're both right on the same pace as one another. So you would say Flame Dragon is in the money at the pound seats at the moment, and he does have around about, I'd say, a bit more than 5 second gap. But I think it's going to be down to a Scarcin really to see where if he's going to stay out or will he box again for one final option run because he's falling back.
He is falling back. RC Rapids is now closing in very quickly indeed on these fresh option tyres. And the Scarcin can ill afford to lose too many points to Ryan here. If he loses too many points, then his championship grass slips away as we head to Interlagos, Brazil. At the moment, it looks like Scarcin is going to have to do it all in Brazil at the end of the season. But at the moment, being a place behind Ryan means he doesn't lose too many points. A few more places, though, it all becomes a lot more difficult.
This is why I'm
picked up a penalty for the brilliant, by the way.
Told you.
He's got the 10
I wasn't just trying to defend her, I did tell you. Oh, BF, wait, don't make me come down there.
You don't know where I am, boy. In the meantime, RC Rapids going for turn 8 into turns 9 and 10. Trying to get a decent run on the back of a Scarcin, and the Scarcin's in real danger here because RC Rapids has got half his curse bar available, a fresh set of option tyres, and he's more than likely going to have the DRS here. So Scarcin under real pressure now as the Red Bull driver RC Rapids attacks, trying to get closer towards that podium and forcing the Scarcin to make the difficult road to Interlagos and the title. DRS slot wide open, all curse deployed. As in down towards turn 13, Scarcin's got a bit of a gap though, and RC Rapids driving too far away to make a move. Gets on the brakes, realises he's going to spear into the Mercedes, but Scarcin goes a little wide there, loses grip, and RC Rapids now wants to move to 14. We saw Ryan do this, gets a bit too close to the inside, the all 4 tyres over, into turn 15, into 16, Cameron, he's got the outside way into turn 17. He's trying to perform as a corner cut, and he has to let Scarcin go.
Probably going to come out in P7.
Can I ask why your mic keeps on fading in volume? Is it close? Is it away from your mouth or something? As RC Rapids starts on the inside, oh, he's been hit by Scarcin! And Scarcin spun him. RC Rapids went in front of him, so Scarcin's had to stop, and that's now going to allow the Williams to go on the outside. That might be Sick Harry. So Scarcin's now behind Sick Harry, who has the DRS. No, he doesn't. But Sick Harry's not going to be able to retain the position here, or will he? Trying to go around the outside, Sick Harry attacking. And the Scarcin falling down the field, is down at 6th place.
Ryan is probably going to be laughing underneath that helmet.
And so is your dog. heading through turn 7 into 8 and 9. As we see Sick Harry getting a better line of Scarson going very wide there, and Scarson's suddenly lost all grip. I think Scarson's hitting the cliff here. And meanwhile, John Dibweed in the Ferrari is now attacking him. And if Ryan's teammate can do what he did earlier in this race and really get after Scarson, this is going to make the title blow wide open at Sao Paulo.
Realistically, two of the cars that might be passing have difficulties. And by the way, the reason the mic's fluctuating because it is seasonal, so it's only temporary. So
okay, that's fair enough. Good move. It's turn 13. Scarson trying to get close to the back of Sick Harry, but Sick Harry's actually got a bit of a gap on him. And now behind them, John Dibweed is closed up. And Scarson's in real danger here because if he drops down to 8th place and Ryan continues to finish on the podium, he's going to lose a hell of a lot of points to him. Sorry, I didn't get a word out, mate. Your mic completely failed.
I said if he dives in the pits now, he'd probably go down to last.
He'd have to do all-out attack if he's going to do that in the qualifying lap. Sick Harry, meanwhile, trying to get close to the back of RC Rapids in the Red Bull going through turn 2. Rapids has just got a bit of a gap on Sick Harry at the moment. And the big loser here, look at this. Scarson's lost about 3 or 4 seconds on these guys already this lap.
I mean, his tyres look like they're starting to die. I mean, he might regret staying out these laps. He's probably profited more from pit, not continuing that battle with Rapid.
Into turn 12. Has John Dibweed got the DRS on the back of Scarson here? Because if he does, this is going to be a real chance for John Dibweed to get ahead of Scarson, knocking him down towards the full of the points. There goes the flat and the curse, heading down towards turn 13. DRS wide open for John Dibweed, not close enough to attack at the moment. Meanwhile, ahead of these guys, Sick Harry now all over the back of the RC Rapids in the Red Bull. But Sick Harry's just not quite got the grit to attack here. But you get the feeling that through turns 1 and turns 13, this is unbelievable. Meanwhile, XRL Stewart saying that apparently you've had the best commentator session ever. I'm guessing he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, this is Stewart we're talking about here.
Not saying a word. So meanwhile, now heading further on, we've got a bit of a duel. Sick Harry's caused right to the back of RC Rapids. John Dibweed's in the pits. That's interesting.
Indeed.
I wonder if he fancies an undercut here, realising the Scarson's probably going to have to dive in for a stop, and he wants to get ahead of him.
A little bit strange because he only pitted around about 8-9 laps ago. That's going to put him right towards the back, battling with Miss Brilliant and Irish Blue Gunner for, well, what will then be P7. I think he's going to come out and end up behind the pair of them, and indeed he does.
Sick Harry now attacking the back of RC Rapids through turns 6 and 7 into 8. Then kick of 9 and 10. As RC Rapids has got decent grip in the Red Bull, show really good pace here. On the screen, meanwhile, Stewart says, just give up, dude. I'm guessing he's talking about you there, Bobbert. Meanwhile, question remains, yes, is Ryan still in 3rd position at the moment? The answer is yes, he is, behind Michaels and Flame Dragon. So he's in a great position in terms of the championship, as Scarson continues in P6 at the moment, doing a decent job as the flat opens on Sick Harry. DRS wide open. He's not used all his curves, surprisingly, but he's not close enough to attack Rapids. And Ryan might actually be closing down Michaels here. That gap appears to have shrunk a little bit.
I think Sick Harry is going to be using the remainder of his curves out of turn 20 and use it up the hill into turn 1. It could be turned out to be quite a good move, saving a little bit, because he's all over the back of Rapids. We're coming through the twisty section of turns 15, 16 and 17 now into turns 8. He's actually used it out of turn 17.
That's a bit of a surprising place to use it, right? I suppose it is a traction zone. Oh, now it's got lag! Just to make things even more annoying, and he goes off at turn 19. I get the feeling the lag is what caused that, as he would have lost control of the car and not really knew where he was. Heading into turn 20, and that's costing him big time, because RC Rapids now has broke DRS.
Really unfortunate there, but, you know, surprisingly, Scarson, he's not really fallen too far off those guys now. Maybe, I don't know, do you think he could get caught from the guys behind?
Well, it depends if he has to pit, because Irish Blue Gunner and John Dibweed are battling at the back of the points. He's 9 and 8, and Irish Blue Gunner got the DRS open on the back of John Dibweed in the Ferrari as we head towards turn 1 up the hill. Wrap this in the paddock hill bend at Brands Hatch. gets on the brakes. Oh, Styrish Blue Gunner had to straight line the corner. He completely outbraked himself, nearly went into the rear of him, but good drive from Blue Gunner. Sacrificed his race in order to ensure he didn't cause an accident.
Stick carry is now Steve.
Well, question playing on the street from XRL Stewart says that as it stands, Ryan will be 27 points behind as we head into Interlagos, and it's not enough. Ascarson will be champion.
Indeed, he is because Ryan will only be picking up 15, whilst Ascarson is still picking up 8. That's only a 7-point loss, which is more than enough as we say bye to Luke again.
Oh, well, that's hardly a surprise. As Slick Harry gets close to the back of RC Rapids and the Red Bull, closest cars on track at the moment, heading into turn 17, and the Red Bull and the Williams driver have been locking horns all race. Ryan, how much will he rue that strategy at the start, which cost him big time when he was mugged off the start and on the first lap?
That's what's costing this race actually as always. Rapids really track extend turn 19 there, coming under some serious pressure for Sick Harry. So P4 is still up for grabs here. This will be a very good result for Sick Harry. He's got the DRS, doesn't use any of his curves. He's gaining all the time as they come up to the hill and towards turn 1. Is he going to make a lunge? No, he doesn't. But he forces Rapids into a mistake.
Yeah, Rapids went too wide there. Sick Harry might fancy a dive. Oh, but he's actually backed off.
I think he just
Does he think he'd lack it? Did he think he'd lack hit him or something there, I wonder?
Potentially, but Rapids isn't really one for lagging. It's more of his teammate playing Dragon, but well, he stayed behind him nonetheless. They come through towards turn 8, 9 and 10, and he'll have the DRS again going down in towards turn 13, so potential again.
Going to have the curves available going through turn 12. A great opportunity for Sick Harry. He's crossed the DRS detection line, goes into turn 12, gets a decent run on the inside, and he's going to have a lot of curves to attack it. Gets good traction off turn 12. Great opportunity now for the Williams driver. There goes the flap. Saves a little bit of his curves. We've seen him use this at turns 17 and 18. Gets good overspeed and RC Rapids, but Rapids defends in the middle of the circuit into the braking zone. Sick Harry's gone ahead, but he's gone too deep onto the marbles, and he's had to get out of the gas to avoid hitting the back of RC Rapids.
Good intelligent driving there from RC Rapids. Just blocking the door on the exit of the corner. Sick Harry had nowhere to go, so intelligent driving from Rapids, but he's still got another 6 more laps to hang on.
Now the question is, can Ascarson hang on for the next 6 laps? Because behind him is Miss Brilliant, and also behind her we've got John Digweed. John Digweed is on fresh options. I wonder if Ryan instructed him to stop, put on the fresh boots and try to attack Ascarson with 6 qualifying laps.
Potentially, but then again he's got Miss Brilliant in his way, and she's, as we all know, she's not one for giving up a position very lightly. She will fight to the death, so it won't be easy for him.
Indeed it won't, and now Ascarson is actually not too far behind the likes of RC Rapids and Sick Harry, but he's got 6 laps to go. If those tyres start to fall off the cliff with maybe 2 laps to go, that will be the end of his race. Ascarson is gambling on not stopping and crawling over the line, kind of like James Hunt did at Fuji in 1976. What do you mean, what happened there? Have you not seen Rush?
Look what happened there.
DRS fly wide open from Sick Harry as he attacks RC Rapids, going towards turn 13. Gets on the brakes, but once again Rapids. Oh, he got a bit too deep though. Sick Harry undercuts him beautifully. Great driving from Sick Harry there.
Great move from Harry there. Just takes advantage of it, and you'd think he would pull away from Rapids, but then again, we know Rapids is another driver that can be quite stubborn, but he doesn't seem to have the traction, and then yeah, Sick Harry he's starting to pull away already.
Right, looking at the gap meanwhile between Miss Brilliant and Ascarson, the gap is currently about 9 to 10 seconds. So 2 seconds a lap faster is what these guys need to be. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's happening. So for now, Ascarson has got his grip on the title with 1 race to spare. But anything can happen. We see drivers dropping out. We don't know if there's going to be any post-race penalties yet. And also, we don't know if those tyres are going to last. Sean Digweed watches, and a big mistake from Miss Brilliant. Gives him a chance. DRS flat wide open. Oh, she defended very impressively there. Brush's tyres almost pushed him into the pit wall. Shade to Borrico and Schumacher at the Hungaroring in 2010 there. And John Digweed's on the outside to turn 2. He might have the better traction in, but Miss Brilliant hangs on. And I'm not sure if that was fair driving there. That was pretty impressive to me.
Well, as we know, she can be quite aggressive when it comes to defending position, but even with these two squabbling, I've worked out that they are the best part of 2 seconds a lap quicker than Ascasin ahead. So, all is not lost yet. He could lose position still. As actually, Ralphie Rapids is on the back of Harry still.
Stuart, meanwhile, was saying on the stream that John Digweed's pit stop looks to have cost his teammate the championship as he was on a Scotson's gearbox. He's gone too deep, hasn't he? But Sick Harry didn't have the grip.
No, he's got the move done. RC Rapids, clean as you like, and he's retaken that 4th place.
Behind them now, Ascasin just goes into the start of Hockenheimer section. Behind them, John Digweed, side by side with Miss Brilliant into turn 14. Has he got the high run to force his way past? Yes, he has. John Digweed has now been released. And this is where the pressure is now on for Ascasin. Because if John Digweed can break away from Miss Brilliant, he will have the clean air to close that gap. The battle is on.
Even so, Swish, even if John Digweed does manage to stay ahead of Ascasin will still have a 25-point lead over Ryan. Ryan will have to win at Brazil, and for Ascasin not to score for him to have any chance. So he needs to.
Look at 2012 at Interlagos, when Fernando Alonso had one of the longest outside chances in the world, and at the first corner, Sebastian Vettel almost lost it and had to drive the wheels off his car to get enough points to get the championship. In Formula 1, it is not over until the checkered flag is waving.
So it's not until the fat lady sings.
I said in F1. not in opera, not in theatre. I said in F1. Deal with
it. My bad.
Now, John Sick Harry looking at the back of RC Rapids. Well, Rapids actually broke away from him. Surprisingly, evidently, maybe John Sick Harry has got slightly better, worse tyre wear, and now Ascasin in P6 has got John Digweed closing the gap slightly, but it's currently, it's a bit too far away. I think Ascasin may just hang on here.
The thing is, Ascasin's tyres will have to do, 22 or 23 laps. And those tyres are going to be dead. They might hit the cliff on those last 2 laps, and I think actually John Digweed is closing very quickly on Ascasin. He's really struggling.
We'll have to keep an eye on that gap. Meanwhile, Sick Harry is still keeping on to the back towards the tailpipe of RC Rapids, who's currently running in P4. Ryan is just not got the pace to attack XRL Michaels, and that's what he really needs. But John Digweed may still give him an outside chance at Interlagos as we head towards the start-finish straight. DRS flat wide open to Sick Harry on the back of RC Rapids. Deploys his curse, gets into the slipstream with the Red Bull driver. Heading up the hill to turn 1. Sick Harry takes the lock, backs out of the move. Has a bit of a locker from RC Rapids, but Sick Harry's not got the grip.
Miss Brilliant's just, I think she's just gone off at turn 20. She has, she's gone into the gravel.
So meanwhile, John Digweed now, the gap to him and the Ascasin is running currently at 5 seconds with 3 laps to go. It is definitely game on here. There's no chance that John Digweed could do his teammate a big favour and give him a chance in the title. Meanwhile, LGS says it on the stream, Bruno Senna was so close to being an F1 legend in 2012, and Stuart saying Vettel caused that incident. Well, whatever your opinion are, it's not this British retired from the race. Why on earth would you retire 2 laps from the end?
Don't look at me.
Get her in the box.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to her, so I'll let you do the talking, or shall I sweet talk?
You're a typical man, under the thumb of a woman.
Shall I try and talk her?
There's Sick Harry gets on your 17.
I was just going to say, speaking of John Digweed, on his last lap he did his personal best of a 1:38 flat. Look at how much he's closing in on Ascasin on this lap. He will be all over him, and he will be ahead of him.
Oh, you say that, but anything's possible. The dreaded 5-second lag, for instance. Sick Harry into 20, turn 20, attacking the back of RC Rapids. He's got the DRS available to him, and he's got plenty of curves. He's attacking the back of the Red Bull, going up the hill to across the pitch straight towards turn 1. Takes a look at Rapids, but once again a bit too far behind. Rapids and the Red Bulls draw a really strong race here today. Done a great job and really given the team a great chance on the constructors.
Definitely,
but the gap between Escarcing and also John Digweed has now decreased to almost nothing. It's approximately 1.5 seconds. At the end of this sector, you fancy John Digweed will have the DRS. So we'll ride on board with the Ferrari drivers to go for turns 9 and 10. John Digweed is all out attack here. His teammate needs him to pass him, but he goes wide at turn of 10, sailing to turn 11, but he's going to have DRS here. John Digweed has put Escarcing under real pressure. Into turn 12, Escarcing gets a wide line. John Digweed gets a tight line. Look how close he is. There goes the cars. John Digweed's going to blast past there, you would expect. Gets into the slipstream, cars deployed, and John Digweed waves past the Escarcing. That move, provided John Digweed can stay ahead to the end of the race, will take the title to Interlagos. But Escarcing's not going to give up. He wants it sealed this race, but John Digweed's broke away from him, and that has probably done the damage.
Sick Harry actually has recalled off the back of RC Rapids for P4 as John Digweed he's just pulling it car lengths ahead over Escarcing, so that is done and dusted. The battle is for P4, whilst out in front Flame Dragon can circulate on his final lap as he comes through to start Sector 2 now, and what will be, I believe, his second win in F4.
DRS flap open, no curse deployed by Sick Harry. Going up towards turn 1, he really wants that position, but he's only got one chance to do it as RC Rapids goes a little wide at turn 1. Sick Harry now knows he's got to attack relentlessly, mercilessly, if he's going to take RC Rapids' position away from him. Going into turn 4, 5 and 6, and you can see that Sick Harry is really struggling in the dirty air here. This fast flowing section is not what you want when you're this close. Oh, RC Rapids goes wide at turn 8, and that allows Sick Harry to close him into turns 9 and 10. Sick Harry is closer than he's ever been. He can taste that 4th position of the 12 points it will give him. Heading into turn 12, getting close. DRS will be available to Sick Harry. This is his last chance. He's got to make this work.
He's all over the back of him. He's got plenty of curves to deploy. There he goes. Rapids goes very defensive towards the inside.
Gets into the slipstream. DRS flat wide open. As the fleet and the RC Rapids defends slightly. But Sick Harry's going to have to go the long way round. Has RC Rapids forced him to retain the position here? No, Rapids defence goes too wide. Sick Harry may fancy undercutting him as Flame Dragon takes the victory. Going into the middle of the outside turn 14. Sick Harry might fancy sticking on the inside of turn 17 here. Through 15 and 16, got the new barrels on the outside, and RC Rapids has just done enough to retain the lead. You think we're into turn 18? Sick Harry may have a chance to attack.
I think he will if he gets a clean run up.
We have an interesting thing here as John Digweed had a penalty. He probably passed him anyway.
RC Rapids goes off the circuit at 19, and Sick Harry steals it away from him with 2 corners to go.
It's going to be interesting to see. On the penalty now, Arsenal will get past, and he does. He picks up P5.
What was that? Escarcing picked up P5?
Because of the penalties, yes.
Up P5.
Well, if those penalties stand, that will mean that Escarcing is your F4 champion. If it's not confirmed, it will depend on the steward's inquiries. We ride up forward with Irish Blue Gunner, who is the last classified finisher. So we'll go over in the meantime to you, Flame Dragon, a race where you qualified on pole position and then just seemed to drive away. Was it as easy as it looked?
Not at all, because I had taken an alternative strategy, and seeing how close everyone was in the prime tiers compared to me in the options, I thought they would have me, but my race pace is just incredible.
Well, obviously, it must be nice to get a victory at a circuit like Austin, Texas, and next week the season finale at Interlagos. Do you feel you have a chance of getting another win result to give you the momentum into next season?
A podium is possible, a win might not.
Okay, well, evidently Flame Dragon wants to keep it very short and sweet here. So we'll go over to you, XRL Michael, starting P4 on the prime tyres. It looked like you were in a bit of a poor position, but then managed to break away at the start and pretty much stay in position to keep that to second place. Was it an easy race in the end for you? Did you think you had the chance to fight for the win?
Well, lagging a bit in that, but yeah, I just for what you said. It wasn't easy by any means. Every time I started on the primes, and that was my strategy to begin with. But what I didn't realise is I thought it would bring me out in traffic, which it did, and I suppose maybe cost me in a race win. But I'm happy with second. I mean, I made some great overtakes, some good battles there. Congrats on Dragon on his win because he well deserved that. Just couldn't break him down.
Well, excellent comments there, so well done and enjoyed second place. Ryan, we'll go over to you. With the penalties that your teammate and RC Rapids have got in game, if they stand, it does mean that, unfortunately, you will not be having a chance to fight for the title in Interlagos. Did you feel that you had the chance to get enough points to take it down to the wire, or was it always slightly out of reach for you?
I seriously thought I'd have a chance. It finished 4th or above with me winning. It would go down to the next race, but the penalty stand has just been a good season.
I mean, obviously, it's still in a good chance now to get a very solid second place qualification for the Race of Champions. And of course, even if it is a dead rubber, will you be able to finish on a high next week at Interlagos?
Oh yeah, I'll practice off of a high.
Excellent. Well, I'll say congratulations on your third place performance. Still great driving to finish where you did. And also, thank you very much for you people who watched tonight on Channel 1. Please go over to Channel 2, because as far as I'm aware, GP3 is still going. Now, it started very, very late, so your racing fix is not yet over. Tomorrow night, of course, you've got the double header of F5000 and T6. Thursday and Friday, you can catch the Grid Autosport Leagues as well on Channel 1, providing there's no issues with